Welcome, everybody, to Movies, Music, and Mayhem. I am your host, Rachel Silvestrini. Welcome back. It's our 59th show. I am floored and flabbergasted that this has gone on this long. Who lets me keep doing this shit? I'm ridiculous. This is a ridiculous show. But I'm so excited to bring on my guest. Guys, a lot of people don't know who this person is, but they should because he's amazing and phenomenal. He's also one of the reasons that your favorite summer tour got set up on time every day, all summer long. Guys, it is Terry Lee Mayers.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see you. I miss your face.
I'm so excited to be here.
So guys, if you don't know who Terry is, Terry was I met Terry through Warped Tour. He was setup crew. I was at the time, was I a massage therapist in reverse daycare?
Okay. I was just thinking about this, right? So you were just saying before we started, you did, how many Warped Tours did you do?
I think I did 8.
Dang, dude.
I think.
8? So my first year was 2009.
Okay. So I was definitely in reverse daycare.
Yeah, I did the last 10. So I did 2009 on. You were reverse daycare?
I was the massage therapist in reverse daycare.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When was AT&T?
AT&T was, I want to say it's 09.
Did you work for somebody different every year?
No, I did the first 2.5 summers the first 2 and portion of summers that I was out. I was like an independent contractor, kind of. Like Kevin basically gave me my spot on the tour, or gave me my spot on the bus, gave me catering, and this is ridiculous, did not take a portion of what I owned because I think he felt bad for me because I was charging like $1 a minute chair massages and reverse daycare to the parents. And then I opened it up for everybody on tour. It was 50 cents a minute for everybody on tour, but everybody just started throwing me money because Tess was so booked out backstage. And then it got to the point, like halfway through tour, it would get to the point where everybody was in so much pain that Tess could only take like the most high priority clients. So like if like you guys or Kenny or like any of like the headlining artists like needed like very specific help because she did shiatsu, then she would take them. Otherwise, she literally would send everybody over to me. And I did not know this because I was terrified that Tess thought that I was stealing clients from her.
No way.
And dude, I was petrified when we first met.
That's so funny. I think about Tess all the time. Nobody fucking like Tess knows my back for some reason, and nobody else can figure it out. Like, so what was fun of like, I was on that list of people who could get massaged by Tess, but like we like setup crew, stage managers, like we didn't get massaged by Tess. Like we just got put back together by Tess.
Well, yeah,
so, like, we would show up and Tess. Well, I mean, because like she would do like half hours, you know, that's how she sold it, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but we would come up and like, it wasn't an amount of time. It was just like, you know, here's $20. Thank you so much. You know?
It wasn't massage. It was body work because we were falling apart. I'd say at least like 2.5-3 weeks in, people started like slacking off on doing things the proper way, and they were just having fun and hanging out with our friends. And then something would happen, and we would dislocate a shoulder, or in my case, dislocate 3 ribs out of my spine and have to go get them put back in by Tess, which was the best painful experience I've ever had in my life. She's so brutal and gentle at the same time. I love her dearly, and I'm so excited that she's going back out with Bad Religion. They're going back out on tour, and she's like, somebody take care of my dog. And I'm like,
I'm really, really happy for her, but like, I would rather see Tess when Bad Religion's in town than go see Bad Religion. That's how much I would love to be massaged by Tess.
100%. Yeah. Like I'll buy a ticket. That's fine. But I don't want to see the show. I just want to go hang out with Tess backstage and have her work on me.
And it can be like 5 minutes. I just like,
just walk in with your hands up, like you're surrendering, like just help, whatever you want.
I've been looking for you everywhere. That's so funny. So I don't even know why you even went anywhere else after that. You're probably like, when you have like a cash hustle like that on Warped Tour, especially where you're making people feel better, like, oh man, I can only imagine the dump trucks you're taking home.
It got to the point because I did 6, 7, 8 in reverse daycare, I want to say, and then 9 was with AT&T. But
so that was my first year.
Yeah. So if you remember correctly, the economy was not doing too well in 2009, and so Kevin couldn't afford to have me just be there. Like he needed that bunk spot to bring in money, and I was like, I will pay. Like I'll give you a cut. Like I don't.
Yeah, I'll buy the bus spot.
I will create a spreadsheet for minutes and money made. Like I will pay you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. So then I got. Big John reached out to me while he was on vacation in Mexico with Michelle before Warped Tour, and somebody apparently on their team didn't pass their security check, and so they couldn't go on Warped Tour because like they had like a warrant out for their arrest or something like that. And so he called me
to get into Canada.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't really matter. It's AT&T. AT&T turns into Rogers. We didn't set up in Canada anyway. But I think it was something like they weren't allowed to like leave the state, something like that. So like while in Mexico, Big John calls me and is like, I have like 3 minutes to talk to you. Do you want to come out on Warped Tour with me and Michelle and Jason and who else was out there that summer? Jerry was out, Shannon. And I was like, let me think about this. Yes. Jerry. Man. I love him so much. He does not exist on social media at all. And I need to get a hold of him.
I went to lunch with him. Oh shit. 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. He got really skinny. He lives in Florida. He lives in Florida with Jason. Him and Jason live together, I'm pretty sure. In Florida? I don't know. But that might be old information too. Actually, does Jerry have a kid? I don't know.
Oh my god. I mean, at this point in time, I just assume that everybody other than me has like gotten married and procreated.
Dude, like that is a wrecking crew of an AT&T tour. Did you guys go on tours after that together?
No, I mean, I didn't get called out, but it was the most amazing thing. It was so much fun, and then like
it was just Warped.
I just remember getting yelled at by the AT&T representatives. Were out one day, and John had to go to a meeting with them, and so he was on the mic. And he just handed the mic over to me, and he literally goes, "You can talk forever. Here, mic." And I was like, "Done. You're not getting this back." And that's why I got to be MC that summer for the rest of it. It was amazing. I have
the exact same story of how I became an MC on cruise ships.
Oh my god! Can I just say, I watched a video. It was after the last Chris Jericho cruise. And they were like, somebody had posted a video from karaoke, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, they are amazing athletes, but Jesus Christ, can they not sing?" And I was like watching it, laughing my ass off, and then all of a sudden, I spot a blonde head in the back, and I'm like, "Wait a second, is that my Terry?"
It is, and it's legend, dude. It's karaoke. It's rowdy as shit. I host this karaoke, right? And these wrestlers and these wrestling fans love to sing and love to support each other. And we do every Backstreet Boy song, like everything.
Yes,
dude, it's crazy. Fucking Moxley, you know
John Moxley?
I'm pretty sure he's the champ right now, right? Mox?
I think he's
Tim Moxley.
He had one of the belts. Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, either way, Moxley comes up to me the first day and he's like, "Hey, do you have? Oh, what song was it? It was some song, and I didn't have it." And I always give this huge speech of like, "Yo, we're in the middle of the ocean right now. Like, I have what I have. You know, there's no internet, dude." And so it's like I can try to download it, but it'll take days, right?
Yeah.
And every day I forgot to download the song. And so it's like every day, like to start a karaoke, I'm like, all right, like we're having fun, here we go. And then like Moxley comes up and is like, hey, you download my song? And I was like, oh no, Mox. And it was so funny. And
I
then he
know.
was like, whatever, and then he would always sing some other song, and it was incredible.
I know he did Sweet Caroline because that was I think that was the video that I watched.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, he's an amazing athlete, but Jesus Christ, please stop singing. This is amazing and hilarious. Like, this is what I would sound like if I was, singing. And then I saw you in the background and I was like, that's my Terry.
So the way I do it is I get as many wireless mics as I can. So like I usually have like 4 or 5 wireless mics. I'll always have one dedicated to me, and then I'll give one to the singer, and then like whoever else, like, like this is it. And like I make sure everybody's on the dance floor. Like we're not watching people sing, like we're at a party and, your friend's singing one song, then you're going to sing a song. We're all going to dance and have fun. And like, it's so crazy. They were choke slamming people, like throwing them off the stage into the crowd surfing.
I want to get choke slammed and never crowd surf. Like, I'm not joking. I have never crowd surfed in my life.
What?
Yeah. Well, I was always working, and then, my metabolism stopped, and I'm like too delicate at this point to get dropped in a pit. So I just never crowd surfed. Also, I was like I'm a base. I'm the one who holds people up. I'm not the one that jumps. This is not aerodynamic. But I will say this, if I get on the Jericho cruise, I figure there's enough big guys that they can hold me up. And I will crowd surf if I get on the Jericho cruise.
It's, first of all, crowd surfing is the greatest thing in the entire world. And
have boobs to grab.
Also, oh yeah, no, please, dude. Okay, for women, crowd surfing has to be the worst thing in the entire world.
Although,
because you're trying to have fun, and then people are ruining it for you.
Although I will say this. After the year that I've dealt with, like any human contact at this point is kind of welcome.
Or that, dude, or it's the greatest thing because that's what you were looking for, If you're
that's fine.
Looking to get some boobs and butt squeezes in, go for a ride. Go for a surf. I've like definitely been like at shows and just like, I'm gonna stage dive, and then like just like these kids that you just see like, oh no, who's this? This guy is way too big to be doing this.
That's amazing.
My favorite though, like was it like 6 years ago maybe? I was at a Saves the Day show. I saw Saves the Day, and I got to see Against Me at St. Vitus in Brooklyn.
Jealous.
That I had never heard about before, but it's like a friend took me there. It's like a late night, like Brooklyn spot, no backstage. They walk you through the audience to the stage. It's like, I don't know,
like 200
people. Yeah, maybe 200 people, so tiny. And it was just all like bigger, older punks, and everybody was stage diving, crowd surfing, and just like, we got you, dude. It was incredible.
That makes me
so much fun.
Happy. Like, honestly, the fact that like tour dates are starting to get announced, I'm just like, oh my God. Like I just well up at the sight of a tour list coming up. Like, I just miss all of our friends so fucking much.
Yeah, right?
But
I'm so, yeah.
Well, okay, so tell me how you got on Warped Tour. Like, I know the story, but I love hearing it, and I know that not a lot of people know this outside of unless they've watched I believe it was season 1 of Roped. I can fucking talk. Warped Roadies season 1. God, look at all those people that we love.
Unbelievable, man.
Look how tan everyone is.
I mean, this is so crazy to me, right? Because like this is me and like 2 of my very best friends forever, like growing up and like wanting to go on tour and loving Warped Tour, and now there's a TV show about us. Like, oh my God.
And I'm wearing the same shirt you were.
Look at that. Season 1, they didn't blur it in season 1. They didn't know.
It says my life versus your vacation. Sorry, my tits are too big to accurate. I mean, you know.
I don't know. I thought it looked good. It did.
It's there for a reason. No. So okay. So yeah. So tell me about how you got the initial call to come out on Warped, because that's always like the best.
Dude, it's so crazy, right? So like, I was the kid who I went to Warped Tour every year since I was 16. I would have gone earlier, but my mom wouldn't let me, so I had to be able to drive. And then like I used to like volunteer with catering, and so I could get backstage passes. And like I was always like just loving Warped Tour, always like on stage being like this fun kid, dude, just loving it. And then I don't know. And then I moved to California, whatever, yada yada yada. Danny Bateman, who's like one of my best friends in 7th grade, he was in that poster with me. He went on a Mormon mission, came home early because Mormon missions are stupid, and got a job on fucking Warped Tour. Okay, that was a long way to say this. He got a job on Warped Tour. He had never been to Warped Tour before. He calls me and he's like, "Yo, I work on Warped Tour." I'm like, "That's crazy." 4 years go by, and then he becomes the crew chief of the setup crew on Warped Tour in 2009. And did they need me, or was it last minute? I had both stories, and I think I got hired. Like somebody quit. The dude from Dork, remember the guy from Dork, right? The band
Brian?
in Denver. He was short, but he was like could throw up tents like real good. He had a fun name, maybe.
He was the lead singer. Skylar.
Yeah, Skylar. I took Skylar's spot.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember when Brian Johnson and Skylar were both on setup crew, and I was just ogle at you guys. It was so much fun. God, I miss those days. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no. So Skylar stopped, and then so I came on in 2009, and then those guys wanted to come back in 2010. So I was like, yeah, it means way more to them. They're in a band, you know. So I let them come back, and then in 2011. I was begging everybody for a job, and like I had even no, that was the summer before. It was just so horrible. And then I got flown out. I got called like the last minute. I flew in on rehearsal day.
Oh my!
And like I was living in LA. Like I had quit my one job to go to this other job, and like it wasn't working out. And I had to drive from like Beverly Hills to like Silver Lake on like Olympic, so it just takes forever. And I had no money, and I was running out of gas, and it was just like, this is it. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And then it was like, can you be on a plane tomorrow? And I was like, fuck yes, you know.
That's basically what happened to me in 2013 with Music Saves Lives, because they had the guy who was supposed to be like tour managing. Do you remember that summer? The summer of Icy Stars.
When you were out with Music Saves, yeah, and you were there, and Jake.
Jake? Yeah, Jake.
Jason?
But the guy who was supposed to be in charge of the tent was just not doing his job. And so I talked to Russell in LA, and I was like, yeah, if he keeps fucking up, just give me a call. I can be in a plane in like an hour and a half. And he called me up and was like, hey, can you be in Denver? And I'm like, yup.
Yeah. Let's go.
2 days later, bags packed, back on Warped Tour. Literally showed up just in time for the booby party.
You got to be there for the booby party. You're going to get a nice shirt. It's going to be so soft. Hopefully, I get like if I can find a 2X, like I Heart Boobies sweatshirt. Oh, it's so soft.
It was so soft and so warm. And it was like that perfect thinness where you would stay warm, but like you weren't sweating your balls off. Like it was great.
Denver gets it.
Denver is amazing.
Denver gets it.
I always looked at like the one stop that we have that like you can legitimately suffer from altitude sickness and like die if you drink too much way too rapidly is the city where Keep Abreast would throw their like themed parties. I really appreciated it. They you know what, they were smart because you can't drink as much normally, so they're not spending as much on booze.
I don't know. Now that I think about it, there's also that bar right across the street that we would rage at. Would they
Oh
throw
yeah.
the party there? I mean, it's
Ah,
right there. Like, it was crazy. I mean, either
I
way,
think
you could be at the barbecue and at that bar at the same time, basically.
I mean, I think I've stolen so many glasses from that bar to walk across the street to go back, and like got
Yeah.
the glass filled up at the barbecue, and then came
Yeah,
back to the bar with another full drink.
of course. Why not?
'Cause
Dude,
I think that was the
that's
bar
amazing.
that taught me about soaking gummy bears in vodka. I think that
Sounds
was
right.
I think that was the one. Yeah, that sounds about right. There's not a lot I remember about Denver other than that.
Other than there's like this weird little bar that's like underneath the highway, and if we weren't there on Warped Tour, I don't know how we would ever find it.
Yeah,
But
no.
they soak gummy bears in vodka, and it's delicious.
Scrumptious. Then you get to eat them. I remember ordering a drink like 10 minutes before bus call. And then as we were leaving, they were shutting down because they were like, well, you guys are the only ones in here. We're not going to fucking stay open. It's like 1:00 in the morning. And they had like one of the bottles of vodka was empty, but the gummy bears were still in there. And they gave me a cup full of those gummy bears to like take back to the bus. Woof. Phoenix was rough that next day. I will tell you that.
Dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
No one wants to be around you when you're sweating booze like that. That's just gross.
No. So I was talking to Danny about this yesterday, of like back in like 2009, 2000, like 10, 11, when all we were was the setup crew, like all we had to do was set up and take down. We didn't like have other businesses or jobs during the day or whatever.
Mhm.
Like the perfect schedule was that like you would wake up drunk so that you had the energy to put up the Warped Tour in 2 hours or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So you could get out there with that drunk energy, like, we can do anything, you know? And you put it up, and then you eat lunch, and then you go to sleep.
Bed. Yeah.
And then you go to bed, and then you sleep all the way until like 5:00, where you wake up, immediately go to dinner, and then go take down the Warped Tour, and then party again.
Yeah.
But like you couldn't wake up hungover, like you were fucked. Like you had to wake up drunk, or it was too hard to do.
Yeah, it was either you had to wake up still drunk, or you had to have not had anything to drink the night before, which, let's be honest, didn't happen on Warped Tour.
It would be really difficult. I mean, it's so much fun.
It is. And also like the fact that like you get free beer every day. Like, even if you're not like gonna like rage it out hardcore at the barbecue, like you're still gonna have at least a 6-pack of beer like hanging out in front of your bus. Like
everybody's given 2 beers a day. Yeah. 2 beers a day are just like part of everybody's salary.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember when New Kids would come on the tour and they would that first day that somebody brought a case of beer to the bus, like their eyes would just like light up and they're like, this is for us? This is free? Yeah, we get it every day. So please, dear God, drink your 2 beers because I'm not fucking stocking them.
We don't have room for them, okay, bud? You need to drink these damn beers.
Yeah, at minimum.
There's 20 of us living on a bus. Drink these beers. We don't have room for the beers.
And if you don't want to drink it, you better find somebody who fucking does.
I don't care. I don't care what you do with them. Just do something with them.
Get rid of them.
You're responsible for this. That's so funny. I feel like, and like also like you come from like this older time too, when the bands used to have bars. They stopped doing that once like the Warped Tour bands started getting younger and younger every year.
Yeah.
And so then the people backstage started getting younger and younger every year, and having bands, like headlining bands on the tour, selling drinks for tips that are insane. Like I used to buy drinks from Less Than Jake and NoFX. Like you'd get a peanut butter. Fat Mike would sell peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yep.
And then Less Than Jake ran the bar, and I would go like throw $20 in the fucking jar, and then just whenever I came up, I had a drink. Or if we were going somewhere, Buddy would just give me a cup of whiskey. He was just, okay, here you go. Like, make sure you're taken care of, dude. Like, we don't want you to go thirsty.
Yeah.
Here's fucking and I'm just like, I've been listening to you forever. This is the craziest thing in the entire world.
You just turn into a heart eyes emoji, just like, oh my god, I love you so much.
Yeah,
I loved that combo, but I think my favorite combo bar setup was, it was Pepper and oh my god, who else? I want to say Bad Religion, but that wasn't it.
This is like 2011 or 12.
This is like 2007, I think, and then like 2011 or 12, yeah. But they would set up, their bus would always be parked with an open spot between Pepper's bus and oh my god, who else was it? Oh, it's right. Who's Randy? What band was Randy on? He would make Panty Droppers. Older SoCal punk band. Why am I pulling a blank right now? Anyway, they would literally park their buses with an open spot between them every day, and they would pop up a 10x10, and they would literally turn that spot between their buses into like a lanai. So like it was like they had like lights strung up, and like they were playing, like they had a table that they put like a hula skirt wrap around, and they would bartend. And I've never gotten drunker than by those two bands' drinks.
Dude.
Oh my god. Pennywise.
Things would be better if I was back at home with Pepper, burning Pacalola, not even noticing the weather. This is a fun story for the set group. We had one summer that we called the Ecstasy Summer. And that was that every time that Pepper would headline and it was a Roadie Friday, we would take ecstasy. Oh my God.
This explains so much.
Oh man. And remember we would take down the riser, the goddamn we called it. Yeah. And we would take down the riser and we would be sitting on top of the riser watching Pepper, and Danny would come up and go, open your mouth, and then you go, bah, 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 bah. It was so fun.
The amount of shit that we got away with. Okay, so God, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 2009. We started in Pomona, and we were there for setup day. And I remember that was the first summer that after like, we have like the meeting with everybody, and Kevin's like welcoming everybody to the tour and telling, introducing Kate and Lisa, and like, these are the people you need to know. Like, please do not piss them off. They will kill you and your body will never be found. Like that talk. And it was the first summer that we all started to stand up after that. And then Kevin's like, no, sit down. We need to talk about sexual harassment. And we were all like, the fuck you do? What is going on? And I remember as we were leaving that meeting, Danny was next to me, and he just walks up shoulder to shoulder, and he goes, babe, I've never sexually harassed you, have I? And I was like, have you ever heard me complain? No. Harassment is unwanted. You keep going until I say no. He just started laughing. I'm like, it was just the funniest thing for me, because like, in those early years, it was like, I never felt like I couldn't speak up about anything. Yeah. Like, I never felt that, like, if anybody said or did anything that I took offense to, which, let's be honest, me, is if I take offense to something, you did something fucking wrong. Yeah. Like, there's no question about it. There's no, like, oh, you're being too sensitive. Like, no, like, if I'm offended, it's too far. But, like, I mean, I think it's once the average age on tour like started dipping like drastically.
They weren't fucking punks anymore. Part of respecting everybody that deserves respect and fucking being a good citizen is a punk rock fucking thing. You know? And like that's why Warped Tour was the best, is because it was our safe place. Like it was like we could be exactly who we wanted to be, and we
Yeah.
would never hurt anybody. And if you accidentally did, someone would let you know, and you wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Not because it was censored or whatever. It's like, but we cared about these people, you
Yeah.
know.
Like,
And
could you
and it was a
imagine?
beautiful thing for a long time.
It was so wonderful. Like, I can't imagine in this day and age. I remember, I think it was still '09. Somebody held a dance off. I think we were in Camden, and somebody held a dance off, and it got down to me and Metal Mike.
I knew it. Yeah, of course.
And someone else, I can't remember, but 303 was hosting the dance off.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
And they were a band that was constant. That was one of our sponsored bands with AT&T, so they really knew who I was. We spent like every other day together hanging out, and
they were so much fun. Dude,
God, I
shout out Nat and Sean, who are probably listening. We love you, Nat and Sean.
I just adore them so dearly. But I remember that year, it got down to me and Metal Mike and someone else, and Metal Mike was wearing the mankini from Borat, and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't compete with that. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how. So he literally stripped me out of a dance-off win, which
Metal was naked a lot. That was Metal was definitely known as the naked guy for a while.
He still to this day he is naked boy. He is naked Warped Tour boy.
I love him so much. One of my favorite sweet Warped Tour memories. This was so much fun. We were in Buffalo, and my sister had come up, and her boyfriend, who's now husband, was there. And bus 4, it was like we're in this amphitheater, right? And then the buses are like right here. And we all were standing off the bus, and we would all take turns stage diving, and we'd all catch each other. This was the ecstasy summer. Yeah, where were you? Like, I can't believe you missed this.
I was probably working or waiting in line for a shower, to be honest.
This was like at the barbecue, like like so much fun. My sister stage dives, like I was stage dive, and we like whoever would walk by. We got Large to stage dive. Large, like big dude, took us out, dude. And then Metal gets out of the shower and has to walk him back over to his bus, and we made the mistake, Mike, and he dropped that towel and jumped out. We all caught him. Yay, Mike!
I think Warped Tour is the most, or was at least, just one of the most like accepting things that I've ever been a part of. Like, you could be the weirdest fucking human being in the world, but as long as you were nice, like nobody cared, and we celebrated that shit.
We're family. We're a big family that's doing something spectacular, you know? And we all have to work together to do it. It doesn't matter what your job is, like what you're hired out here to do. Like, we all have the same job, and that's throw a really fun time for a day and then fucking leave.
And then do it again the next day with a new crowd.
Man.
So did you guys, okay, so I know you guys partied hard on Bus 4. Bus 4 was synonymous with a very good time. Do you guys ever like have like chill nights where you just like kicked back and like watched movies and hung out? And
I mean, yeah, like later, especially later, like once Danny left too, and then like at one point, like then like Mike was a dad, Jose was a dad. Who else was, I mean, I don't know. But so like it got chiller, but like when we were like in our younger 20s, I mean, it was just like, I mean, it was just so much fun, you know? Like I like still can't believe we did it, you know? But like, yeah, like we chill out. We usually have, okay, so this is how it goes. Is Brian Dale one night at some crazy rest stop in the middle of nowhere gets like 5 DVDs from the bin. Okay. And those are our fucking movies the entire summer. And like, that's it, you know? Like Dale comes with his own set of rules. Like, Dale sleeps in the back lounge. Like, this is where Dale lives. Like, okay. And because of that, Dale chooses all the movies. You know, we only watch Dale wants to watch. You know? Well, then why didn't you buy a movie? You know?
Dale stole one of my movies. I think it was like 2007 or 8 because I was working in reverse daycare, and so we had like the big TV set up, and like we would play DVDs for the families and stuff.
Classic movie. Yeah, we always
and so I would, you know, when we would do those Walmart stops, I would be that asshole that was like digging through that $3 bin and being like, okay, these are movies that I want to watch.
Yeah.
And they're great for the tent. So I'll just buy a stack of them. And I think that summer he stole like 10 DVDs from me because he would come in and be like, how's everything going? And then he would laugh and distract me with his laugh because it's just pure joy and rainbows and sunshine coming out of his mouth. And then he would just like take DVDs. I wasn't even
He's a monster.
Yes, he is. But like my favorite monster.
Yeah. So like one of the like a classic like Chappie. Do you remember Chappie? Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah, Blumhouse.
Yeah. Chappie, I've seen 1,000 times. Like it's insane. This movie that we've just like happened to see so many times. Chappie. Oh man. It would be like so nostalgic to watch this movie for me now. You know?
Yeah, there's just some movies that like just take you right back to like that summer. You know, like I remember Mannequin. So I remember the summer that I was like 7. Mannequin was on HBO, and I just like watched it all the fucking time. So like, Clue brings me back to Warped Tour because that was one of the first movies that we had in reverse daycare, and I didn't know that I could buy movies. I think that was my first summer on Warped Tour, and like we would let the like whoever was, if we were changing movies, we would let all the parents in there like vote on which one was next.
Yeah.
Always vote Clue, and I'm like, oh my god, can we not? Like, I know who did it. Can I tell you who did it?
Parents love Clue.
Parents loved Clue. Oh my god, did they love Clue? It was that and Uncle Buck, and I was like, every time they played Uncle Buck, I'm like, I'm gonna go get lunch. They're like, it's 3:00. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna go help catering. Like, I don't care.
Catering needs me.
Catering needs me. It's fine. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
110. Nobody wants me to touch their skin right now. I'll be fine.
Oh
god, that movie got played so much. So okay, so Warped Tour starts, Warped Tour ends, and then you go on to do something fucking amazing, which I'm on my way to join you, hopefully. Tell me about what happened next.
Well. So, I mean, a lot of crazy things led to this job, but I work for this cool company that throws music festivals on cruise ships. That's what you're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
We throw music festivals on cruise ships. It's called Six Man. And we do like, who does cruises? We do like 20 events, 21 events a year. We do a wrestling cruise. We do like a Paramore cruise, Matt Decent cruise. Kid Rock does a cruise. Kiss does a cruise.
Coheed.
Coheed and Cambria. Oh my god, dude.
Never-ending cruise.
So I mean, how am I walking away from this without a dragonfly tattoo on me somewhere, right?
Right.
Like that's for sure happening. But right, like the pool deck is so epic of a place to like see a band, and it fits the entire ship to see there. And then just imagine like the wind like blowing in Claudio's hair and like whoa, like oh my god, dude. I remember like the first time seeing like that happen, like at Warped Tour, especially too, when Coheed would get those people screaming, and you'd be like, "This is real, dude. What is going on right now?"
I'm literally getting chills just remembering, because the first year I was out on Warped Tour, we played Mountain View, which is my hometown stop for Warped Tour. They play the Shoreline.
Where? I love Shoreline.
And my mom came out, and that was the year that she basically indentured her servitude to constantly making carrot cake. Because Kevin, she brought out carrot cake, and Kevin was like, "This needs to happen every year," and I'm like, "Great." Keep hiring me. I'll keep bringing you carrot cake. Right. But I took her side stage for Coheed, and I was like, this is why, like, I want to show you why I love this, why this is so important to me. And they did that. And as soon as they started chanting, like there was like, you look out from like the upstage behind, like we were upstage, stage right. And so like the drummer is literally like, the drum kit is literally like just to our left, and you can see Claudio and the crowd and just everybody chanting, and like it sends chills up your back. And she turned to me and she goes, I get it. Like, I get it. I'm like,
It's
yeah,
one of those moments.
Because it's
I get it.
perfection. Like you get the love for this stupid fucking crazy life that we decided to live.
Absolutely, dude. And Coheed has only gotten better. You know? Like they're like we went and saw them, I don't know, I guess 2 years ago now, or like a year and a half ago or something. I don't know. To like talk to him about like the cruise and stuff, and they were unbelievable, man. They are so good. He's playing with his teeth, Claudio. Oh man, I can't wait for that cruise. That's gonna be so fun.
I love that. But how did you get hooked up with Six Man? Because I mean, nowadays it's very much Warped Tour Junior on a boat. Everybody walked over to this job, myself included. Hopefully. But like, you were the first to like pioneer your way over to this company.
So this is, I mean, so fucking crazy, but like so like on brand with like these damn tour stories, right? So like I did a big tour with AT&T. I did like one of those like 6-month marketing tours, and I mean, it was so much fun with like Shannon and Freeze and a bunch of people. It was so fucking fun. It was 6 months, and like, I mean, this was like this year, like I was killing it, right? And then like I had just gotten hired at Coachella for the first time, so I went straight from that. So like I moved out of LA, and I'm like, I'm just on the road now, baby. And like did Coachella to Warped Tour, and then AT&T called and they wanted me to go on a tour that was started like a week after Warped Tour, and I was dating this girl, and I was like, who was like kind of in the same industry, right? I met her at Coachella, and I was like, yeah, girlfriend can get the job too, and if not, I'll do the one that starts. Are we there? Are we good?
Yeah, no, we're good. Sorry, you phased out for a hot second, or maybe it was me. Okay, so yeah, so you're at Coachella.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, yeah. So, or I was at Warped, right? And they wanted me to do a tour that would start like 2 weeks after Warped, and I was like, if my girlfriend can get a job, and if not, I'll do the AT&T tour that starts in like a month or two or whatever, And so they wind up not giving her the job. So I was like, okay, I won't do that tour, and I'll wait for the next one. And then in the next one, like I was like, yep, I'm good. And then I just never heard from them again. And which also happens in the touring industry, and it really sucks. But like this company had hired me, and then I never heard from them again. And then when I finally did hear from them, they were like, oh, we thought that since your girlfriend wasn't going to go, that we weren't going to hire her. You weren't going to do it. And I was like, no. And I was like, this is a 6-month tour. Like, this is half a year of work.
Yes.
And I'm just devastated.
It's half a year of guaranteed paychecks, guys. If you've ever toured before, that is unbelievably invaluable, which is literally why I stopped touring with bands and started touring with Broadway shows, because I was like, oh, this is a 9 to 10 month out of the year contract. I'm in. Please sign me up.
People always don't think about that, right? But of like, we only get paid when we're at work, which is like when we're away from our homes and stuff too. But I mean, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm touring. So like 6 months is like everything,
And 6 months of tour pay is like a year of regular pay.
Pretty fucking sick.
That shit is amazing. I mean, you literally, like, the flip side of that though, guys, is the fact that you don't see your family, you don't really get to see anybody, your days are packed. Like, those 6 months, you exist in a bubble and nothing else happens. Like, it is you.
We were doing like 15-hour shifts at the fair and stuff. Like, oh man. But like, also the greatest time of your entire life, Yeah. So it goes away. So that that night I was okay. So I was at my mom's place in Hilton Head. She was selling timeshare there, so I was staying with my mom. We go over to her coworker's house, who's like more like our age,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Man, that sucks." He goes, "Have you ever heard of?" He goes, "Have you ever heard of Sixth Man?" And I was like, "Yup," because Ernie was doing merch for Pacifier on the 311 cruise.
Oh my God,
And
Ernie.
Ernie had posted a picture of him on our private island, like in the ocean, with 311 playing on a beach. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, Ernie? And, he's
Who
like,
did
it's just
you blow to get that job,
yeah.
you dirtbag?
He's like, it's just company Six Man, you know? If they ever offer you a job, take it. I was like, okay, thanks for the tip, Ernie. And then so, however many, months later, I lose this tour. That night, I'm at this guy's house. He goes, "You've heard of Six Man?" I go, "Yep." And he goes, "My best friend's ex-girlfriend works there. Let me see if I can get you a contact." And he did. And 2 weeks later, I was on the ship.
Motherfucker. I love, like, this is why we can be friends and have been friends for so long, because nobody understands that is like an everyday fucking occurrence for us. Like, that is just how our lives are. Like,
Good.
you meet a guy that lives near your mom, that your mom works with, and turns like it's literally word of mouth. Like, it's
Who's best friend's ex-girlfriend.
yeah.
Good. It gets even crazier, right?
Unbelievable.
So then my second cruise, there was two cruises in a row right there. It was Simple Man, which was like a Leonard Skinner and the Doobie Brothers and stuff, and then Kiss. And it was during there was a hurricane. We had to go around the other side of Cuba, and you got to see Havana. The Doobie Brothers were like, "Take me by the hand, pretty mama, go to Destiny." It was hilarious. And then the second cruise is Kiss, and I'm assisting a pick throwing contest, and it's like the preliminary round. So it's just like a bunch of people in a line coming up, and they're throwing picks into buckets to try to qualify for this big pick throwing tournament, because Kiss is so good at throwing picks, right? And the guy who's hosting is the CEO of the company, but he's like known for the company, like he's the CEO and the MC. And he gets a call on the radio, and he's just the exact same story you told me earlier, and goes, "Oh shit, I gotta go deal with this. Just talking to this microphone." And I said, "Okay." And I kept doing it while he was gone, and he came back, and he came up to the stage, and he watched me for a second, and then he goes, "You got this."
Yeah.
And left. And then I was their MC.
That's what fucking Big John did too. He like literally sat there for like 5 seconds, like across the walkway, and like came back from his meeting and sat there and watched me. It was like came back on because we had air conditioning. I think that's literally the only reason he came back into the truck. And he just sat, like, we had this little like seat area where like nobody could see you out there, and he just like sat there and watched me. And like after like 10 minutes, he just called me over and he goes, "Do you want to keep doing this? Because I'm kind of tired." And I'm like, "Yeah, go take a nap." Like, fuck it. I'm like, "I got this." I'm like, "I know this. I know the codes. I know the hashtags. Like, go take a fucking nap. I got this."
I remember, so when I was on the AT&T tour, Freeze was our MC.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like thinking it was like an interesting job. Like I'd never really seen it before. And I was asking Freeze, I remember asking Freeze, I was like, "What are you gonna do?" Or whatever. And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna just talk to people, just tell people to come over and do what we want them to do." Yeah. And I was like, "What? Like how are you gonna do that?" And he goes, "Terry," he goes, "through the power of amplified sound." And I was like, and he goes, "You don't understand. The power of amplified sound is everything. You can get when you have a microphone, you can get people to do whatever you want him to do.
Literally anything. I have proven that. Like, I tested the limits on that goddamn tour because, like, I'm one of those people that I'm like, I will never like willingly grab a microphone. If one gets handed to me, you will never fucking get it back. Like, we went out. So
don't make me sing.
Don't make me sing. We went to, actually, funny that you say sing. So I've told Terry about the Schmodown. He's super excited. He loves it. So we had a live event in New York 2 years ago in August. And we went out to a karaoke bar for one of our friends' birthdays. Now, she and I did, she's a great singer. So Janine sang. Janine's a really good friend of mine. So she wanted to sing, you know that song Crush? It's just a little crush. Yeah. Yeah. So she would sing Crush. She would sing and I would do the backup vocals. So the song is over. We both have mics. She hands the mic to the next person and nobody takes my mic. And I'm like going to like hand it to somebody else. Nobody takes my mic. So I start emceeing the fucking night and then start singing backup for everyone, whether they want me to or not. I had that microphone for like 4.5 hours.
I love it.
And I miss it. I miss those days.
And I miss it. I miss the microphones.
I miss the microphones. I miss being on Warped Tour and yelling at kids for wearing black pants and a black hoodie in 97-degree weather with 80% humidity. I miss that so much.
I mean, I'm really glad I never had to do that job, but now thinking about it right now, I would love to have that job, dude. I would have been the Warped Tour's comedian. I mean, that's an open mic, dude.
It is an open mic.
An improv open mic where you have to fill the time. Yeah. And no one's signing up. You have to stay on stage.
That's literally that was like 80% of what I did. And I was like, I'm funny. I would literally crack jokes and no one would laugh. And I'm like, well, I don't care what you guys say. I'm funny.
Of course.
Whatever.
I mean, it's the dream. Those are the jobs that we need, man.
Yeah.
Like just being able to talk shit.
I mean, my favorite time was being the MC while we were doing signings. Because that summer we had Devil Wears Prada, who didn't really have a sense of humor. I think it was too hot for them.
Christian metal bands, dude. Christian metal bands.
No, because I love me some Weak Car. I love me some Weak Car and Crown.
I mean, I'm not talking shit on them because they're Christian. I'm just saying.
But those guys
stereotype of Christian metal bands. They're exhausting.
There was something about them that summer that they were not happy to be out there doing signings with us, and I made their life miserable because I was having a blast. But we had it was Devil Wears Prada, 303, Less Than Jake, All Time Low, and The Main. So I got to literally roast these sobbing, crying fangirls in line, and it was the best summer of my life. We literally had
so dumb right now.
We literally
what
had
are you doing?
We literally had a tally as to like what band had the most crying girls in their lines throughout the summer. All time one, low, but like just barely. But like I would walk up to them because it was wireless, and I would walk up and be like, "Oh my god, he's so handsome! Oh my god, I love him so much!"
So the best person I've ever seen combat that is Haley from Paramore, because people cry at her all the time, dude. People are always just fucking crying for Haley, and so she just does it with them. Like she'll be, photo shoots, whatever. They go, I can't handle it. She goes like me either, and it just always gets them. It's so funny. So like all these people have pictures of Haley like crying, like pretending to cry because they're crying. It's
hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I remember one time I think I was walking to dinner and I saw Haley had gotten like caught in the crowd. Like she was like walking around and like was just like checking on her merch booth or something like that. And like somebody recognized her and a swarm attacked her. And so she literally hopped on my back Yoda style and I like ran through the crowd with her like I was Luke training.
She's
Like,
tiny. Yeah.
she's so
You got to
tiny.
get her. You got to get her through.
Yeah, I mean,
They will tear her apart.
she's so small. Like,
She's so tiny.
she would raise her hand in a crowd and like only like her wrist and above would be seen. Like, she's so small and so sweet. I just adore her. But we've had some really fucking crazy shit happen on Warped Tour.
Sure.
Like, weather-wise. You were there for the hurricane in Cleveland, right?
No.
No?
That's like 2008 or whatever. It was right before
man.
me. I know. I mean, I definitely like. Well, I was there just after because like people were still feeling it.
Yeah, we got
I've seen videos on that. It's whoa.
Yeah, we had a hurricane, guys, in Cleveland, which go figure. And it wasn't a tornado, it was a hurricane. It was, apparently I got corrected on that once. But a third of the tents got destroyed, both 10 by 10 merch tents and like the ones that you guys set up. I remember a guy came over because he hurt his leg and he thought it was a scratch, so he like sat down in one of our like camping chairs in front after the whole melee had stopped, and like we were waiting for first aid, and I hadn't checked it out, and he lifted his pant leg and he had a compound fracture. And I was like, no, we need to get the fucking meds here right now, because like that shit can lead to an infection. He was like, I don't want to miss the rest of Warped Tour. I'm like, babe, your bone is sticking out of your skin. You're done for the day. Like, I hate.
Oh man,
you're getting a cast the rest of the summer,
dude. So also, like, this venue was like a power plant, or it was like underneath. Also, it was like another venue underneath a highway or something. Or like by a river. It was a weird place.
Yeah, all I remember is that there was like a massive staircase like leading up to like a mall area with a Hard Rock Cafe.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's right in downtown Cleveland. Because sadly, I know downtown Cleveland very well at this point. Toured there so many times. Yeah, that was a fucking crazy one. There was also the Great Flood of, where were we? It flooded so many times. Oh yeah, dude.
West Palm. Oh no. I guess no. That was still that same. That was that same day Marquee got hit. That was my flood day.
That was Well, that was. Hold on. I think I have a picture of that day.
Were you with Brian?
Yeah. Well, not with Brian, but this was literally like a third of Warped Tour. Just like hiding under a tent, watching it rain.
Dude, where is that?
That was
Houston?
Susquehanna. So that was,
I think that's Houston.
Maybe?
Or San Antonio.
I mean, I remember
one of those shows. Dallas?
I remember Houston getting shut down, and then 10 minutes later the sun coming out and we all got a day off.
I wasn't that was right before me too.
That was,
and because that's the only canceled day ever.
Yeah.
It's never canceled.
To be fair, it didn't get canceled. It just got pushed back a day.
Oh yeah.
We were playing Houston, and then we had 2 days off to get to Florida, and we were going to spend a day in New Orleans doing a cleanup, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but Warped Tour used to do these amazing like service projects, and we would get to go. We would get to go to like places that, you know, I think we went to like, didn't we clean up after Sandy, and we cleaned up after Katrina?
We cleaned up. We built a playground one time. We were cleaning up that river, like Rose River in like Pittsburgh. We planted trees.
Mm-hmm.
We've done all kinds of cool.
Cleaned up beaches in Monterey, which was great because there's that bar right there.
Yeah,
go for a drink.
That's right. I don't think I went to that one. Like, we got like stuck or something. I don't know.
That was the day. I think that was the day after the houseboat day.
Yeah.
And
we weren't like, there. We didn't. Setup crew didn't show up.
No, that was like the worst. It was like you could go on the houseboat day if you volunteered in Monterey, but Monterey was the day after the houseboat day, when everybody just got massively drunk and got sun poisoning, and
dude,
nobody wore sunscreen, and we all had water boats, and
Oh man, Shasta days were
Lake
crazy.
Shasta.
Yeah.
I got my ass burned one year because we all decided to go skinny dipping, and then somebody had a raft, and I like laid on it on my stomach, and my ass got sunburned. That was the worst.
That'll happen.
I know. Never go skinny.
That'll happen.
You get burned.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll learn that.
Okay, now you've also done some amazing things with like comedy and stuff. Because like, so tell me all about that and how it started. Because like you've always been funny, and you always make me laugh, like no matter what. So.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've just been like, so I've always like kind of like dabbled in stand up and stuff like that. I do a lot of improv, and like hosting and emceeing is like what I get paid for. So like I'm always on a microphone, and then like I just love being able to like create and do stuff, you know, and like it is kind of like a blessing and a curse of like when I am home from touring, I'm home, you know, I'm off. So like I can like really do something, which is cool. But then what sucks is that I like leave for like months at a time. But so it's like I've just been like I was really good at like filling in like improv classes like on like my time off, and I was getting up more, and it was like really starting to go well. And then like that's like right when the pandemic happened, of course. So then I mean it just, you know, everything moved to online. And so I've just been like trying to make like fun things online, and stuff like that. Like we tried to do like shows, and like we did open mics and stuff throughout the pandemic, and that was really cool. And then just like most recently, I've just like started like posting like every day, like it's happening, you know. Like I have like these weird characters and like fun things and like music and like just jokes and just like being silly, and just like I'm on the social media, just being a goofball.
Dude, the skit that you had about the guy who loves Christmas, like
the Christmaser,
killed me. Because I was like, why are you making fun of me? I'm right here watching this.
Yeah,
so
that was
good.
so fun. Yeah.
Guys, links are below if you ever want to check it out. Like, it's so fucking funny.
Please do. Please check me out. Like the videos. If you don't like it, comment on it, because it's great for the algorithm. It'll help me out.
Thumbs down counts just as much as a thumbs up. Just hurts a little bit.
It's so funny.
Okay, so what was your very first concert that you ever went to?
Ever?
Yeah.
What was the Rolling Stones Voodoo Lounge tour?
What?
With Seal opening up. and it was, I was in 4th grade, and it was at the University of Utah's football stadium, which maybe was, no, I don't think it was new yet. Oh, maybe it was. I think maybe it was new because the Olympics were coming in like 10 years. Maybe it wasn't new yet because the Olympics were still like 10 years away. But it was a stadium show. It was a college stadium. You know, it was a stadium show.
It's the Rolling Stones. They're not going to play
so
like a small gig.
Sick. Yeah. It was so awesome. And yeah.
Was that the first?
All the words.
Was that the first one that you like bought the ticket to, or was that like the first one that
No.
To?
So that was the first one that I went. That's like the first one I ever went to.
Okay.
The first concert I ever went to without my parents
mm-hmm.
was Weezer and No Doubt.
Oh,
and it was so sick. And I think it was like Suicidal Tendencies was like the opener or something. But Weezer only had the Blue album out, and Tragic Kingdom was out, obviously. No Doubt was No Doubt was a ska band. You know, they still traveled with horns. My favorite ska band, No Doubt, was playing. It was so fun. Yeah, and that was the first concert I ever went to by myself. And then like the first like punk rock concert that I went to was Goldfinger, and
Nice.
I loved or I didn't know Goldfinger. I got dragged to Goldfinger by Travis. I got by Travis Coop and Andrew Ince, both worked on Warped Tour with us together, and we went. I only had known Superman because of the Tony Hawk game, right? And that was all I knew, right? And they played that song. When they played that song, they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is coming back to this." And he was like, "Whoever wants to stage dive, get on stage and stage dive." And I was like, "Yep." And I got on stage and I just stage diving, dude. And like, I mean, I was a punk. I was in, dude. And then after Superman, they played Mabel, which was their like famous song that everybody else sang. Yep.
Yep.
And Feldman handed me the mic and I didn't know the words. And I was like 14 or 15. We were dropped off at the show for sure. And I just remember being like, yeah, and like just threw the mic and then jumped again. And it was incredible. I think Dynamite Hack opened up and
God.
Hope. I feel like they were like from Huntington. Oh man, I don't know. I'll think about it. But
I have a great John Feldman story. So like for those of you who don't know, John Feldman is basically a god in the punk rock and music industry world. He's an amazing singer, songwriter, and like a fucking just god level producer. He's worked with everyone. And I remember, I think it was like 2012. It was a year that I wasn't on the tour, but I was at Ventura, helping out. I mean, cause like, you know, like we can't go to concerts and not help out. Like you can't like go to a concert and watch it and then leave. Like, no, you have to walk in, backstage, say hi to everybody before the show, check in with merch, see how they're doing, go backstage and let them know if merch needs anything to stock up, like to get their drinks at the bar, like buy around for like you're never just like enjoying the show from the front of house.
But you're also taking care of those tour people, you know, because now they're in your town, and so you're showing them like, hey, what do you need? Like, I got you.
Because you're
Thank
family.
You for bringing the show.
Because these are family. And so when Warped Tour was in Ventura that year, I remember going out and like, I can't even remember whose list I was on. I think I just showed up and like whoever was working the tent was like, oh, Rachel's here. Just give her a pass. And I was helping. They had some like crazy, stupid volunteers that year working at check-in. And so I like helped organize them. And I was working on that. And Feldman showed up with his wife and one of their kids, I think. And he like came around the side and I didn't see him. And he just goes, Rachel. And I'm like, what? And I turn and it's John. And I'm like, did John Feldman just call me Rach? Like my heart stopped in my chest. I'm like, that's it. I've made it. I don't care what happens with my life after this. Because John Feldman not only knew my name, but called me by a nickname that only like my loved ones call me by. And I was like floored. And I was like, whatever you need, John, it's all yours. I don't care. Yeah. I was
do you remember the first like celebrity or like famous person to you that remembered your name? That like called you by your name and you were, you know, like it was shocking the first time somebody from honestly, like music or television or whatever, like said your name. Like if John Feldman was like, "What's up, Terry?" Like I would be like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
What's up, John?
That was one of the biggest ones. I think the first one was Andrew McMahon from Something Corporate.
Whoa!
Yeah, I mean, especially at like 19 when like this lead singer of one of your favorite bands of all time like sees you out front and like brings you backstage to hang out with them because you've been to so many of their concerts and they know that you're cool. Like that shit fucking rocked my world. Like, dude.
Last time I saw Andrew McMahon, he was opening up for Billy Joel. And like the whole time I was like, this has to be so great for Andrew. I bet you Andrew's having so much fun right now.
The last time I saw Andrew was I was working for Vans at Lollapalooza, and I was backstage. Like they had like a whole like tent set up, and we were literally there backstage in like behind the main stage, handing out shoes to the performers.
Yeah.
Like they'd like register for like size and like how many, but like they got to come in and like look at all the designs that we had, and we got to like fit people, whatever. And I remember I hadn't seen Andrew in like 6 years, and Jack's Mannequin was playing one of the stages. And I was like, I told Ashley was one of the girls who she got me the job on that, and then she's like stayed with me. But I remember the day that they were playing, I was like, okay, if Jack's Mannequin comes in, I have dibs. Like, I don't care anybody else on this bill. I want to deal with Jack's Mannequin. And they walked in while I was on break, and I came back like 5 minutes before they were leaving. And Andrew looks up from me, or looks up from like a shoe that he was trying on, sees me and goes, "Oh my God, Rachel," and like stands up and gives me a hug. And I just like started crying. So I'm like, it's been 6 years. I haven't seen this guy. He's met hundreds of thousands of people in that time. Like that's like that is amazing. That shit fucking like
that's it.
That hits a different spot of your heart that like that, like for somebody who means so much to you to recognize you and like to have that, like, I don't know, like have that memory of not just like, oh, I remember you, of like, oh my God, you're Rachel. Like what? I was like, done. I'm it. Like, just count me out. I can't deal with this anymore.
That's so fun.
And then I found out that like their sound guy was a friend of mine, so I got to like sneak in for their set and like sit in the sound booth because I'm a diva, and I don't do crowds anymore.
Is so awesome. Andrew McMahon is awesome. Everything that he does is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many pictures of him with like the froey hair and shit, and I show it all the time.
I want him to do his own cruise. He's been on the cruise. He's been on the rock boat before, and people really love him. I think he's coming back. But do an Andrew McMahon cruise, but it's like the first night is something he plays only something corporate songs. Second night he plays only Jack's Mannequin songs. The third night he's Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness.
I wouldn't even want, like, if I get hired by Six Man, I wouldn't even want to work that tour. I would just want to be like on the boat for that.
Okay, listen to this. No, you don't. You want to get fucking paid to be there because you're there anyway. I mean, like we are, like we're the fun police, right? We're making sure everybody's having so much fun all the time. Yeah. And once you're off work, like you're off work, like you gotta like drink. Like we have in our office have like a full open bar every night. Like it's fucking crazy because like we show these people like the most insane time, like we fucking murder these people for 4 days, and then they get off, and the next people get right on, and they have first day energy, and you just gotta fucking let's go,
dude. I remember just existing off of that energy and just adrenaline the entire summer for Warped Tour, because every day was a brand new day for the thousands of kids that came through that door. Like, it was ridiculous. But I mean, when I was interviewing with Andy and Jen, I told them, because like they wanted to make sure it's very sweet that they want to make sure that I can endure life on a cruise ship, because I've never been on a cruise. And they're like, we'll get you out there. It'll be fine. I'm like, basically, in my mind, the cruise ship is just like a giant tour bus with outdoor seating. So I think I'll be fine. And by the way, if you put me on a cruise, I'm just going to end up like working while I'm not getting paid, because I'll be there with a red Solo cup in one hand and like holding like a cable lead while somebody's like coiling it. Like that's like, I'm just gonna be hanging out with Terry like the entire time. Like that's what it's gonna be.
Well, we'll be hanging out with the people, you know, like everybody knows everybody. Like the people know our production crew. Like it's fucking wild. And that's why you'd be so good at artist relations too.
I'm just saying.
What was I just gonna say though? I had something fun to say. First day energy. I don't know. I forgot.
It's all right. It'll come back.
Oh yeah.
What's been like a band that has been on one of the cruises, or a person that's been on one of the cruises that you're like, I'm so fucking excited to see this person or these people.
Like every year, like who am I looking forward to? Like the people, like the artists or whatever that I've become friends with. That from year to year, I'm excited.
Or like just like you see a new band, or like your first year, you were like, I get to go on a cruise with these people. I'm so fucking stoked.
Yeah. I mean, well, like 311 for sure, dude. Like the 311 cruise is so sick. It is so fun. And like 311 plays like 3-hour shows or some shit. Like we go to like Jamaica or like some island or and that's where like all of our friends come from there too. Like the Bad Rabbits have been on there, Less Than Jake has been on there, Real Big Fish has been on there.
Oh my god.
Everybody, Bad Rabbits. Did I say Bad Rabbits?
Yep.
So good. And so like that one's just like always so much fun. The Kesha cruise is so dope, but like more than anything, I became friends with Detox, the drag queen Detox. Do you watch Drag Race at all?
I was on a Broadway tour for 7 years. Of course I watched Drag Race.
So Detox and I just like had the time of our lives. Like we were hosting shit together. First of all, okay, this is insane. I got to host. It was called the Lip Sync for Your Lifeboat competition. And so it was a lip sync competition where it was the guests, like top 10 guests got to do this. And the judges were Kesha, Dorothy Thor, Bob the Drag Queen, Detox, and Regal, I think, who's like her like songwriter buddy.
Okay.
Is that all of it? And then I was the MC. And I have a picture backstage of me with all these, with everybody. And Kesha's like, whatever, like right here. And then these dudes are so huge. Every one of them are like at least 6 foot, 6'2", and then in heels, tower over me.
Yeah.
And and you're over 6 foot. Like I'm like 6'3", dude. Like nobody's like very few people are taller than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fucking crazy. I love that.
Okay, but yeah, it was the coolest thing ever. But Detox and I became pretty close. I'm like, I can't wait to fucking see her again, dude. It's gonna be so fun.
When I was looking at the schedule over a year ago when I first applied, I saw the Broadway cruise and I was like, oh, my people. Like this is like one of the few jobs that like combines these two crazy worlds that I have become a part of. Like I did Warped Tour for 8 summers and have been going for 12, 15 years, something like that. And then I toured with Broadway shows for 7 years. Like this is a meeting of the minds. I mean, now don't get me wrong. One of the years that I was on Beauty and the Beast and I came to visit Warped Tour, we did happen to have a magical fucking like hour-long medley sing-along, because I believe it was Louis found out that I was leaving, that I was going from Beauty and the Beast to Newsies after my tour ended, and he got so excited, and we did like an hour-long sing-along. Do you remember this in Ventura?
I mean, I do so many Newsies sing-alongs that like they all kind of mash together at some point.
I mean,
But do I remember it? Of course I do. And it was incredible. Newsies is the best.
You almost hip checked me down to the ground because I remember Luis and I were singing and we had like a small crowd gathering around us. And then out of nowhere, you came running in and like hip checked me and was like, you started singing King of New York out of fucking nowhere and like tap dancing like Bugs Bunny. And then we just kept going. and more people came along. I can't even remember who all started singing with us. Jasmine was there. McAfee, she came over and sang. I think it was literally just like a bunch of like old school group, and everybody came and hung out, and it was like one of the weirdest, most famous moments of my life. And my life just turned into it was like the craziest meshing of both worlds that I love so dearly. And it was just the most amazing thing ever.
I mean, yeah, like, it's my favorite musical of all time. And, like, we can just, you just start like, that's my cigar.
I'll buy another.
Hey, Bubba's, we got work to do.
Oh my God. What's the next line? Since when did you become me mother?
Stop your ballin'.
Who asked you?
Who asked you? Yeah. Anyway.
I think there were actual like dance breaks like brought into the songs too.
I mean, I'm sure we did the whole thing, which
we did the entire show in an hour.
We carrying the banner through it all.
Brian, what would I do as a job on the cruise? Literally anything they want me to do, but I applied for artist relations. So I would be like the band's personal cruise director, I believe.
You applied for a full-time job, right?
I did.
Full-time job? Yeah. I don't work there full-time. I only work on the cruises, right? But so like artist relations would be like, like anything that like the artist needs to know about the ship beforehand is like you'd be in charge of that. And then when you're on the ship, like you would be, in charge of the bands. Like you'd help check them in. Like whatever, if the bands needed something, they would have you there as like their liaison or whatever,
Which is the perfect job for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't get rattled by meeting people. And if I do, it's for like a heartbeat where I'm like, I love you. And now you have to listen to me forever.
Yeah. Well, and like navigating the ship can be tricky,
Yeah.
You gotta be smooth.
Port side is left, starboard is right, and that's all I know.
So I only learned that because port has 4 letters and so does left.
Oh, I went with starboard has 2 R's, so that's right.
Dang, okay. That makes sense.
Yep. I've literally been going to their website and just like studying like the layouts of the ships because I have no life. Yeah, for sure.
That's a cool ship.
I mean, like I said, I've never been on a cruise, and I'm dying to get out there because like.
Oh really?
Because it's not just you. Like you started the whole like Warped Tour ex-employee movement towards Sixth Man, so now there's like. Well, like 10 or 12 of us that work for Sixth Man, like.
Yeah. So, I mean, so yeah, like I got there by luck, right? So I get there, and then when I get there, I'm the first person to work there that was from like a festival experience. They were all just like, like they worked in Atlanta. Like this dude started this company, had a great idea. Gathered like this group of people and like went and did it and had like I was one of like 4 PAs or whatever, and like most of them worked in like movies and TV or whatever. And so I was the first one with like music experience. And when they were like, hey, like they started expanding, they're like, do you know anybody? And I was like,
do I know someone?
Yeah, are there other people like you? And I was like, all the best people in the world, man. We all come from
1,000 people.
Yeah, like we were, people raised by Kevin, dude. We're Warped Tour kids. So, just started bringing everybody on. Like Josh Handy works there. Holshu worked there. Connor was there for, like a little run. Sierra worked there full time for a little bit. She doesn't anymore.
Sierra was the one who made me aware of the opening initially, because she like I remember her announcing that she was like leaving, and I was like, who's taking your job?
Who's taking your job?
Who's filling that spot, babe?
Who are you passing that off to? True. I mean, how many jobs do you get because so many because of people leaving their job, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how like you do it in like our world of like you, it's like you get offered a job, you say yes, and then if you have to not do that job for some reason, you give them somebody else to do it, you know?
And you
And like
and you
that's
know
how like you stay on tour.
And you know exactly who to hand it off to, too. Like the amount of years that we have both spent on Warped Tour, like you know who you can hand that job off to and who you can't.
Dude, for sure. Because like you can either do Warped Tour or you can't. Like that's like the number one. I mean, like if you're working in music, like production or marketing or whatever, anything, and like they're like, "Have you toured before?" And you're like, "Yes, I've done Warped Tour. I've done 10 of them. You know, 10 years of them. You know, like we always laugh like when Les and Jake played their 365th show at Warped Tour, and it was like such a big deal. They're like, it's so crazy, isn't that crazy? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? We got a 365 Warped Tours 5 years ago, you know?
Right?
So funny.
Oh my God. That's true. I mean, it's funny. I've always in theater, like we marked like how many shows that we were out on tour for, but I never really kept track of how many Warped Tours I worked. I should probably go back and count that. It's got to be at least if I did
just do like at least 50 for however many years. You know?
Holy shit! I've done over 400 then.
Boom.
Oh my God. Oh, and
it's 400 festivals, 400 setup and breakdowns.
And every day was the
how
best
many festivals? How many festivals have you done, dude?
Right?
You know?
Fuck you. Oh, you got to sleep in a bed at night?
Yeah. What is this? We think your 3-day festival's adorable.
That's so cute.
Oh, you're gonna do 2 weekends now? Oh, look at you, fancy pants.
You have a shower that you don't have to wait in line for? Fuck you.
Oh, so funny. So funny.
Well, I told, I don't know if I've told this story on here before, but I told Terry about this earlier this week, that when I was initially interviewing for my job with Disney to go out with Beauty and the Beast, somebody from HR had called me and we were talking, and she was like, I think Deb was like in her mid 40s, like very, like I've met her since. So like she's very like mom-ish. And so she's like talking to me about my resume, and she goes, okay, so why don't you tell me about Warped Tour? I've never heard of this. And I described Warped Tour, like you're out in the elements every day, you're dealing with kids, gates open anywhere between like 10 and 11. You're out there all day. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's gross, it's just disgusting. And then you pack up every day and you move to a new city. It's like this circus, but like on a much tighter schedule. And she literally like such sadness and pity in her voice that she was like, oh my God, that sounds terrible. And I'm like, every day is the worst and best day of your life. And she's like, oh God. And I was like, yeah, and if you don't hire me, I'm going to try and find a job on it this summer.
Works every time.
And they like, to this day, like I remember 1 year Beauty and the Beast got closed. I think it was 2013. We closed, our season ended like early June, and I ended up flying out to Denver like mid-June to do the rest of Warped Tour, because we didn't start back up the next season until like September. And I remember ending Warped Tour, going back to New York to like start like pre-tour prep and everything. And the head of Disney Theatrical Group, DTG, came out and like called me into his office. And he was like, so how was your summer? And I was like, great. I went on a Warped Tour. He's like, great. What did you learn? And I was like, that I really love working for you. I really love air conditioning. That I've learned a lot of patience on the job working for you, because I didn't choke slam a child this year. He looked so horror stricken.
So
but
good.
People are weird, you know, different lives. It's so weird. Where are you these days? Are you still in Atlanta right now?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. Just braving the elements. Just kidding. It's awesome in Atlanta. It's all shady. It's gotten a little swampy these last couple of weeks. It's started to get real humid.
Yeah,
What am I talking about? It's real humid all the time. Like, it is so bad.
I was like, bitch,
Bugs everywhere.
I've been there in February and had swamp ass. Like, let's just be honest. I don't think anything prepares you for living in Atlanta better than going on Warped Tour.
So, dude, Atlanta, this is all I knew about Atlanta before I moved here, was the Lakewood Amphitheater, where we do Warped Tour, and it's the very worst place in the entire world, right? It is sand and it's gravel. So wait, hold on. When you were on, because in 2009, maybe it'd be the last year, maybe 2011, they let us do it. We were doing it on the paved parking lot. And then there's movie studios right there. And as they started to get busier, they made us do it behind the amphitheater.
Okay.
On the dirt. Have you ever done it on the dirt? It's the worst.
I try to block out Atlanta because it's just so miserable.
That's what I'm saying.
I do remember, I want to say it was like Charlotte, North Carolina or something, where like we were outside of an amphitheater, but like the parking lot was all like gravel, and not like nice gravel, but like that pointy rock fucking like you can't wear flip-flops gravel, which is all we wore on Warped Tour. Like Setup Crew wore shoes because they, should. But like everybody else was either like barefoot if they were underneath and like didn't burn their feet on the concrete, or like was wearing flip-flops. Like it took me 5 years to get rid of that flip-flop tan after I stopped working Warped Tour. 5 years. The day I realized that it was gone, I legitimately cried.
It was a big day for y'all.
It was the saddest day. I was like, this is when that chapter of my life is over. And I was like so stubborn. I was like, no, we're going to keep going. Because I'm an idiot and a masochist. And I miss you guys. I love you. So
it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. Now, what's been we've had a lot of fun. Were you out on the tour when Jonah Hill and Michael Cera came on for Superbad?
I don't think so. I think that's before my time.
I think so.
Superbad. I'm trying to think what's Superbad. The big movies. We never really had. Yeah. Matthew Lillard was on tour once. Yeah,
Matthew Lillard came out because Kevin co-produced Endless Bummer, which was a great. I really liked that movie, and like he played like the old like surfer dude that like makes the boards for all the kids. He was like their guru. He was like their Yoda. But I remember they did a screening in Ventura, and we at AT&T had gotten there super late that day, and so we got like this shitty like back location, but we were like right next to catering, which I was like, all right, cool.
The best location.
It's the best location for that. However, nobody came back to that area, but that's also where they would do press, was in that back like hangar. And so I remember it was like towards the end of the day, and Matthew Lillard comes like walking in front of us, and no one's there, and I've got the mic, and it's Matthew fucking Lillard. And I have been in love with him since Scream came out. Let's just be honest about it. And so he went walking by, and I tried to like coax him over the mic to come hang out
amplified sound
and do something with it, because I have the God mic and you have to do what I say. So he wasn't having any of it, and he keeps walking away, and I go, but your mom and dad are going to be so mad at you. And he stops in his tracks and turns around and looks at me, and he goes, did you just say that? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, I'll do the whole movie for you. I don't give a fuck. So he came over and we got to hang out, and it was the best.
That's it.
He was like, all right, because you're such a fan. And I'm like, that's right.
That's so cool.
Harassment works, guys.
Harassment works, but only with a microphone.
But only with a microphone, because then you're held accountable. Because if other people can hear you,
exactly,
then it gets a little dicey. You gotta choose your words. I remember when we were in Florida, and you can't swear in Florida.
So
if you're on the mic. So like,
so stupid.
or you would get fined. So like, I remember
Yeah.
rolling in one year, and NoFX was just like, we have $2,000 just set aside for fines. It doesn't matter. Like we're not gonna fucking change our set. And I remember being on the mic, and this kid walked by, no joke, in black Converse, black skinny jeans, and a black hoodie with the hood up. And I was like, I literally just ripped in him. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Like, you're gonna get goddamn heat stroke. Like, please, dear God, go to the first aid tent, go get some free water. Like, just please don't die. And I was like swearing. And as the kid kept walking by, I noticed that there were 3 cops leaning against a tree across the way. And I was like, I'm so sorry, officer. I'm so sorry. I will watch my mouth. I understand. I was like, guys, if you don't know this, anybody with a microphone in Florida cannot swear on stage. And everyone started booing me. And I'm like, it's not my job. Like, sorry.
No. Dude, for real, especially with it representing AT&T, and they're just like, AT&T's got money, you know?
Yeah, right?
They're the worst. But like all the bands would just like set aside
yeah
the dough. Oh, yeah.
Well, technically AT&T hired me to be, I had to set up a charging like experiment, like, you know, when you walk into like an AT&T store and they have like the little consoles set up in there so you can like play with the new phones and like figure out which ones you wanted to use. That's what I was supposed to do in reverse daycare. Was like, so I set up this console and like had all these phones that were attached to wires, and I was my job was supposed to be in reverse daycare to talk to the parents about the new phones that were coming out from AT&T. Well, I don't know if you know that.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Pitching this? Oh,
however,
man.
it's not a bad idea. However, parents don't give 2 shits.
No, they don't.
They don't care. So I literally spent like the first week of Warped Tour just like sitting on my ass in reverse daycare, not talking to anyone because nobody wanted to talk to me about this. I think the most I ever did on that year in reverse daycare was I taught a woman how to text her daughter. She was like, how do I text my daughter? And I was like, oh, here, this is what's called T9 texting, because this was 2009. Taught her how to T9 text, and then I taught her how to text without T9. And it was like the most amazing thing. And that's the most I ever did. And then I went back to John and I was like, John, if I have to go back into that tent, I'm going to fucking hang myself with those charge cords. Like, I can't.
It's not going to be good.
Like, this is Warped Tour.
It's not going to be good, John.
Like, this is Warped Tour. Like, if I can do drugs and drink all day in that tent, then I'm fine. But I can't.
Too hot to drink and do drugs all day in that tent. Because it's too hot.
It's too hot to do that in an air-conditioned tent. Like, no.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it might be too cold in that tent. You get sick.
Well, you just get sick going from the hot to cold, because I was the one always going out to grab lunch for me and whoever was running reverse daycare. So like, you didn't want to get sick and you didn't want to be drunk or do drugs, because that's just ridiculous. And yeah, it was insane. So thank God I ended up getting the microphone that summer, because otherwise it was bad. I was like talking to Jerry every night and being like, Jerry, you got to get me out of this. I'm like, do you want to go sit and talk to the parents? He's like, fuck no. And I'm like, I know you don't, but please.
No.
Give me like an hour.
That sounds fucking horrible. That's my literal nightmare. That's my nightmare.
Literally the only other times I had to do it was when corporate was out. So when we were in Atlanta, corporate came out and John was like, Rachel, you got to go to the tent. And I was like, but it's Atlanta. I don't want to. I want to be on the mic. And he's like, I can't. You're hired to be in the tent. And I'm like, fine, but you owe me.
Yeah.
God, I miss those guys. Aye is right.
That's so funny.
So I've been, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been a little preoccupied. Hold on. I've been texting Danny.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I sent him the link. I was like, pop by if you want. He's like, what time should I pop in? I'm like, now if you want. Come in now. Come hang out. Because we're just fucking bullshitting at this point. Fuck it. Are you excited for any of the new movies coming out this year?
Dude, new movies? Yeah, I need to go see Fast and the Furious immediately.
Yeah,
like, I'm so bummed I haven't seen it already. Black Widow, I'm in. What comes out right after that? Something else super fun. I don't know. All the
is Top Gun supposed to be coming out soon? Or
did they push that? Probably.
I think they pushed that.
Go. The movie sounds so fun to go to.
Dune.
And Dune. Can't wait for Dune.
Literally at this point, I don't think there's a movie. I think there's one movie that I can think of that I'm not excited about. I'm actually angry at the fact that it got made, but everything else I'm super stoked at.
Angry that it got made?
Yeah. Dude, did you ever see the movie Don't Breathe?
Maybe. Horror movie?
It's more of a suspense movie, but yeah. So these three kids go to like rob this blind guy. They're like gonna go like into his house and rob him, but he ends up being like this ex-military dude, and in all of and like they get locked in the house with him, and he's like super fucking crafty. But in them trying to escape, they discover that, sorry guys, spoiler alert, they discover that he has this girl held captive in his basement that he is trying to impregnate with a turkey baster. Like, it's fucked up. So they decided apparently that it was a good idea to make a sequel to this where he is somehow the protagonist. And he's now trying
hero swap.
Yeah, so now this kidnapper rapist is now a hero because
we sympathize for him.
He's like trying to teach this young girl like how to like escape her captives, and she gets kidnapped, and then he goes after them, and I'm like, no, dude, this guy's a pile of shit. Like, do not make him a hero. Like, I'm so angry that it got made. I'm like, this would be a great process. Like, it'd be a great movie on its own. Like, give it an IP. Don't make it a sequel.
Yeah.
But it's awful. Yeah, Brian, dude, I went off on Twitter yesterday.
Gross.
I was like, fuck whoever.
Is it new? Oh, it's coming out right now?
It's coming out soon. But they like
just. What other movies are coming out?
They just released the trailer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's why am I excited for a movie? I like.
Am I excited for a movie?
It's like hard to find like trailers for some reason. I don't know. Like, I don't like have like cable or whatever, so like I don't see trailers, or like I guess I have to like search them out, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't do that, but like I kind of know when things are happening, and I get excited.
Okay, so did you? So there's been a few movies that have come out already. Did you get to see Raya and the Last Dragon?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's on Disney Plus. It's so sweet.
Is it?
It's so good. Yeah.
Is it what? Is it the new Pixar one?
It's kind of Pixar-y, but it's.
Do you cry?
Of course, I cry at everything. You know this.
Dude.
I still haven't seen.
Kill me.
I still haven't seen Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, and I really need to because he trained for a year before this. He was so excited to be like an action star that he like got super into it, and I respect.
So this is the thing that always happens to me is like I listen to all the podcasts with him on it. Like I've heard like at least 4 hour-long conversations with Odenkirk. I know everything like about the movie. Whatever you've seen it, I could probably joke with you about it, and I'll probably never see the fucking movie. And like I feel like that's what always happens to me.
It looks so good. I'm so sorry to do this. Can you vamp for like 2 minutes? I gotta run and do something real fucking quick. My mom's like texting me like crazy, so I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. So Rachel and I were talking about Newsies earlier, and if you don't know about the movie Newsies, it's a Disney musical that came out like in the 90s. It's really great, but like it opens in this scene of like an orphanage where you see all these kids like sleeping in bunks, and like this old man that kind of runs the orphanage, and like as soon as they wake up, they just like break into song, and that was that song that Rachel and I started singing earlier. It's called "Carrying the Banner," where they're really like talking about all the places where they can go and sell the newspaper and make some money. And, it's them like getting ready for the day. Like some of them shave, some of them are just like children, and then like on the way to work, they get in like this little scuffle with the Delancey brothers, who like they also work for, I guess. I don't know. And then Rachel, what's up, dude?
I was like, what? As I'm leaving all here, so Rachel and I was like, what story is he telling?
I was just recapping the plot of Newsies. Is what I
was doing. Okay. So that's why I come back to a comment from Brian saying Christian Bale.
Dude, Christian Bale was in it. He was incredible in it.
Yeah, one of our competitors in the Schmodown, Kevin Smets, is in Newsies. So you know the scene where
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he has a speaking role too. It's very small, but
yeah.
So you know when Jack is trying to talk to Crutchy when he's in the jail?
Of course.
And he like rappels down and like goes to the
window.
Hey,
Jack.
And he's talking to the
Jack,
kid.
Is that you, Jack? Yeah.
He's talking to the kid at the window. That's my friend Kevin.
Get out the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Kevin. What's up, Kevin? Dude, you were great in Newsies, man.
Yeah, he had his
my favorite movie of all time.
He had his 40th birthday a few years ago, and I got to go to the party, and his friends made a reel, like an acting reel of all the things that he had been in, like all of the really shitty, like ridiculous things he'd been in, like from a kid. And that scene from Newsies kept playing, and they were playing it in the bar, like over the TVs. We were dying laughing. It was so great.
So, what about this? So, in the end of Newsies, Theodore Roosevelt brings Jack back to New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Jack decides that he really wanted to go to Santa Fe to see his family, right? So, like, let's say Jack decides to go. He goes to Santa Fe, finds out his parents are dead, but there's a butler there named Alfred who takes him in, and they move to Gotham, and the motherfucker becomes Batman, dude.
He's his own grandpa. This is amazing. I love it.
Newsies is the real prequel to Batman. Challenge me.
Fight me. I got all
this. Airtight. It's airtight. Is Gotham Santa Fe, New Mexico? Maybe.
I mean, it's
maybe not.
It's Chicago, but yes.
Allegedly. It could be Santa Fe.
According to Christopher Nolan, it is Chicago.
In the comics, it was Santa Fe.
But in our hearts,
Newsies was staying true to the comics.
We know where the Waynes got their start. They discovered a turquoise mine in Santa Fe, and they moved to Chicago.
Are you there? Will you swear you won't forget me? You know what sucks is when you go to a Broadway piano bar, that's usually the only song they know how to play on the piano. And you're like, it's the worst fucking song in the thing. That's it? And then you're like, fine, play it. And then you're like, this song rules, dude. Santa Fe, are you there?
You're like, why isn't there a horse for me to ride down Broadway right now?
What's that Broadway bar in New York that's like down those stairs?
Don't Tell Mama?
Maybe no, not Don't Tell Mama. The one that's like in the other side of town. Mary's? Is it called Mary's?
Oh,
I mean, you walk down and it's just a little piano bar, and it's like in the basement of this place. It's fucking awesome.
There's Mary's, there's 54 Below, there's 54 Below holds cabarets though. Like it's like a performance space. That's amazing. A friend of mine has performed there a few times. She's like had her own shows, and she's fucking phenomenal. The fact that she's not bigger than she is. She does cruise work too, but like other like real cruises, not like fan cruises.
Yeah. Of course.
Brian, I love you. Can you imagine what the Joker would be like in a musical? Yeah.
Incredible.
He'd like every Disney movie, he would have all of the best songs. The villains always have the best songs. Like, try and fight me on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they get the first big like thing to happen to them, like all the villains like just like had like something horrible happen and the music takes you over.
Well,
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm lying.
I think it's because the protagonist in musicals has to be relatable to as many people as possible. It's called the everyman syndrome. And so they don't really have like a ton of idiosyncrasies to them. Like they're not like a fully formed human being. But the villains get to have this great backstory and this history and this pain and trauma, and they get to sing it out, you know, like "Unfortunate Souls" by Ursula, or like
"Unfortunate Souls." So sad,
but
so
true. Oh my god,
that's a good song to play on the piano.
It is one of my favorites, although I don't really count Ursula as a villain. She's just a really good businesswoman, and that
just a queen.
She was supposed to be queen. I can, like, my fans know this. I can go on for hours about Ursula. I love her so much. But like Scar's song in The Lion King is like the second best song. You can't beat Circle of Life. You just can't.
How's it go? How's Scar's song go?
Sorry, I've got
Scar. Look out for me.
No.
Look out at Scar. Rawr!
No, he's got the goose stepping the goose stepping hyenas. Why am I blanking on this right now?
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata is great.
Simba grows up in the middle of the song. Every time.
He goes from JTT to Matthew Broderick in one song, which is great. Yeah, it's like Disney's villains always get the best songs. They really did. But nowadays, if you notice, there aren't a lot of villains anymore. There's more of like ideas that they have to battle against. Like, think about it. Inside Out, there was no villain. It was just a girl going through puberty and like dealing with her parents, like ripping her out of her home state and bringing her to California.
Yeah.
Granted, it's Pixar, but it's still Disney. No, there's just like they fight ideas now.
What was it? Wreck-It Ralph was just about like an insecure white dude that like needed attention.
He took his game got shut down and Turbo took over Sugar Rush.
The second one.
Oh, the second one. I mean, to be fair, the first one is too. He's still a white dude. Yeah. No, the second one there was no villain. They had to they literally, some girl broke the wheel and they had to find a new one.
Ralph like becomes the villain because like he's so like needy and like insecure of like what he'll be able, like what, you know, he won't be able to do anything.
Stop describing my ex-boyfriends. Just
I know, right? You dated a lot of Ralphs, dude.
I mean, as a girl who toured for 17
I don't know
years,
that.
you can't really. It's really hard to find a guy that's okay with you being the only girl with like 100 dudes around you all the time. Just saying.
Look, you don't date people at home, and what you do is you date people on tour, and you don't even date. You find one person and you make out with them the whole time because you're already doing the coolest stuff in the world. You're living a life that's just like unbelievable, right? So much fun. It's like you're at a 10 all the time. And like, you don't need to like go like fuck a bunch of people. Like just make out with one person the whole time and like share that experience with it. And it's the coolest. And then like you always try to date a little bit after and it doesn't work. But then you go on another tour. And then, you know, meet somebody there.
I think that's why I loved touring with Broadway so much, because I was like, there's literally no one to date on a Broadway tour. Like at all. All of the crew guys are like married or old.
How many crew guys are on a Broadway tour?
Are
the dancers and performers with you?
Oh yeah. No, we
Why aren't you hooking up with them?
Because they're all gay.
Dang, there's not the one straight one.
There's
like taking down everybody.
There's like one, but there's also like, it's usually like one of the lead guys, and they're gonna like hook up with one of the ensemble girls. You like they're not gonna hook up with the merch girl. That's not what happens ever. Like that's no.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh no, I'm speaking from experience. Or
Not
maybe I'm just
yet.
thinking about yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I've hung up my tour life because I don't count Six Man as a tour. It's
No,
part
it's a tour. You're just on a ship instead of a bus. I say that all the time. Like I'm going to my ship tour.
but it's like a 1A. Like it's tour life, but kind of different.
I mean, it's wild.
I'm excited.
You can nap good.
I'm actually gonna I'm gonna hang out with Ryan when I go down to LA. I'm excited.
Sick.
Yep.
Who's Ryan?
Wait, not Ryan. Why am I blanking?
Andy.
Andy, thank you. I was like, I've talked to Ryan and I've talked to
When
Andy.
are you going to LA?
I'm going down to LA on the 6th, and I'll be there until like the 13th, I think.
Of July?
Of July, yeah.
I fly into LA July 14th.
What are you doing after that? How long are you going to be there?
I'm only there for a few days. I'm doing a show with there's like a at the Mint
Okay.
on July 15th with like a couple bands like Lido Beach is like getting back together and this other band and like I'm gonna MC it.
What?
Yeah, I'm psyched.
That sounds awesome. Maybe I'll just fucking stay. My friends did say I could stay as long as I wanted. I'm just saying.
Let's go. Yeah, and then so my sister lives there, and so let's sleep on her couch, and like she will have a nephew now. He's like 15 months old, or I don't know, 18 months old. So cute. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
Are you guys?
Yeah, but that's so funny.
Are you guys planning on procreating over there?
No, dude. No, we're not gonna have any babies.
Good for you, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I support either way as long as people know what they want.
Yeah.
Because I do not want children. I will watch everybody else's kids. I'll be the coolest aunt ever.
And it's awesome, right? It's like it's
best.
It's such a weird thing. Like when you tell people like you're not gonna have kids, like sometimes people, I don't know, people are just like weird sometimes about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's like, but you'd be such a good, you'd be such a good mom, you'd be such a good dad. And it's like that's not a reason why I should do it. Dude.
Yeah, right.
Like
I'm like, yeah, I would be, but
it's
I
like the
also
base layer you should be. Yeah, no,
I had to have the whole I had the whole conversation with my mom a few years ago, and she came to visit me when I was living in LA, and I was like, hey, I just feel like I need to let you know that you're not getting grandchildren out of me. And she's like, but you're young. And I'm like, no, I'm 35. And I just
change your mind.
I was like, and I just got my life back. Like I toured for 17 years straight, basically. Like I was like, no, this is the time that I get to be selfish. And every moment of my life now is going to be what I want it to be, not dictated by some tiny human being in a diaper. Like I love kids. I do, but I'm like, I will babysit and I'll be the best aunt ever, but I am not popping out kids.
That's what I was going to say. People always think that you don't like kids too because you don't want to have kids. Like, oh, this is Terry. He hates kids. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
You're like, no, I just hate
my wife, dude. Like, everyone's like, Darby hates kids. Darby loves babies, dude. Like, play with babies all the time, We just don't want any of our own.
Yeah, it gets weird. Like, and you know what my favorite thing is that when I told my friends all of this, they're like, wait, you don't want kids? Yes. Because all they heard was, oh, you're going to be a permanent babysitter for us? Done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's your relationship with them now.
Because
you're their babysitter.
Like, I love being an aunt. I love being the one that they call and, like, tell me their secrets that, like, they can't tell their parents. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
I have my oldest blood niece is 19. And that makes me feel really sad. She turns 20 in October. Oh my God, that hurts.
That's crazy.
Oh. Anyway, Dylan turns 20 in October. And when she was like 12, my sister called me one time and she was like, hey, Dylan's talking about wanting to watch, that like a bunch of her friends are watching American Horror Story. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, should I let her watch it? And I'm like, no. Absolutely not. Oh my fucking God. We have a surprise, guys.
Hey.
There's Papa.
Terry's Papa's here.
Hola, there's Papa.
Hey,
I
son.
know who this is. Take your shirt off.
You don't
Hey,
want that anymore.
you guys talk for a
old news.
second without me. I gotta pee so bad.
All right. Terry,
Oh,
go.
we just gave Terry an out, huh?
I guess. How you doing, babe?
I'm good. Is this like a live stream to all your followers?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But it's fun.
Nice.
So, guys,
Fun.
for anybody who doesn't know, this is Danny Bateman. Danny Bateman was the setup crew chief for Warped Tour for God knows how many years. Was it like 7, 8?
7-11, more like 11.
You know that time has no meaning to us anymore.
We were 7. We were on that tour for like 7 years together, and then you left us. You had better things to do in the world.
Yeah, like earn a paycheck year round, and then come hang out with you whenever I could in the summertime.
Yeah. What are you doing now?
Nothing. I'm trying to get hired by a sixth man to go on cruises with Terry. Actually,
I tried that once.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and it didn't work out too well. I mean, they had a production manager position, but I'm like, I can't commit to that. Like, I won't be able to do what I want with my life, and so. But I mean, looking back, I should have done it.
They'll probably have an opening soon too.
You guys been talking for 2 hours?
Yeah, we've been on for 2 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens when you get people together who haven't seen each other in fuck knows how long.
That's so cool. Yeah, sorry, I had an advance call that I totally forgot about. It was like one of the smaller acts on this festival coming up, and what
festival? Tell us all about it.
It's called Country Fan Fest. It's with Brantley Gilbert and Ultimanian, and so I'm doing the production and coordinating on it. So I had that pop up, and then it's crazy. So usually I have 90 days to do the advance process, right? Well, this time the talent buyer didn't get us contracts until Monday of this week, and the festival's in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Fun.
So I've got to put a 26 artist production orchestrated plan together in 2.5 weeks before I get on site.
Wow. And
I just got on my first call. So yeah, and then I've got one scheduled in like 10 minutes from now, and like 12 minutes from now, and then literally every day I jump
12 minutes. Danny Bateman has a call that's gonna change everybody's life forever. What's that call about? Nobody knows.
And after Terry and I's call, I'm on like 7 hours of call straight. Since Terry and I got on the call this morning, I've done 6 advances.
Wow.
Danny Bateman, he advances 6 shows. Why? Just because it takes 7 hours for 6 shows. Add it up, people.
I miss you too so fucking much.
I fucking hate him so much.
What?
Well, if you need help on those festivals, I have nothing to do, and experience up, yes.
That would have been good to know when we were hiring.
What the fuck, Danny?
Job, and he's like, "You guys can't afford me."
You fucking kidding me? Expensive and unavailable, sir.
Yeah.
No, it's over my wife's birthday. I haven't worked since fucking last February. I'm hoping to start working again in October.
Wants to be in town because he knows when it's Darby's birthday, it's getting time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the getting is good, baby.
When Darby starts aging, Terry starts stabbing.
Something about a birthday that just gets me going.
Something about getting older gets my panties in a bunch.
She just turns into Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny.
Yes.
No, kidding.
But yeah, so why don't you send me your res, and if we got something open, I'll get you on.
Done.
You have a resume?
Of course I have a resume.
Yes.
Terry's like, I just talk.
Give it. I'm offer only.
Offer only. Terry doesn't audition. Terry gets offers.
Kidding me?
Terry's like, resume? You've known me for 15 years.
Right?
Dude.
Hire me.
I mean, at this point, I think you've known me for 15 years, Danny.
I've known you way longer than that.
No, yeah, it's been about 15 years because my first full tour was 2006. Puppy.
She's Boomer.
Puppy.
She's Boomy.
Guys, everybody knows that I'm a sucker for fucking dogs. Look at that face.
Boomy, do you want to go for a ride? Want to go see some friends?
You
Ask him
going
a
out,
question.
Dan? You gonna go party? What?
I do love the handlebar mustache you've got going on, Danny.
It's part of the beard. It's just the blonde's just accentuated.
He's throwing a country music festival, so he's got to play the part.
Yeah, I've got to look like a rapist so I can.
This is Danny in country drag right now.
Just kidding. You should take that part out. I didn't actually mean that.
It's live.
It's a live show.
Cool. Well, that's good.
Were you guys on Throwdown?
Did you say is this Throwdown?
No. Were you guys on Throwdown?
I was. Yeah, I was.
I can't
Throwdown. Remember the year that they cut everybody? I was one of the first people they cut.
No, I remember going to the Throwdown in Nashville.
Yeah, it was amazing. We stayed in Nashville for like 2 weeks. It was awesome.
Yeah, you guys came in and like hung out for a day and then like went somewhere and then came back like 2 weeks later.
Well, yeah, because it was a weekend thing. So we do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to hang out in the city. It was awesome. Yeah. Which was also the whole reason the tour sunk is because we realized that it's very expensive to either fly people back or put them in hotels for 3 days when you're not doing shows. So
I brought my table out to the hotel in Nashville.
I know. I remember. I paid that extra twinge. Remember?
The what?
The extra twinge at the end. She doesn't. Terry knows.
Fucking Danny.
It's a happy ending.
I just found out there were comments over here.
Happy ending.
Through the comments.
Happy ending joke. Guys, I gotta go. I fucking love you. I gotta jump. Get ready for this call.
Danny Bateman, dude.
Danny Bateman, everyone. Danny Bateman.
Thanks for stopping by, Dan.
Terry's Papa.
Love you so much. I'll be in touch.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, sweetie.
Scissors.
So creepy. I love him so much.
What a monster.
What a monster.
That's so funny.
I remember God, he just, you guys made being on Warped Tour and having to be awake so early like the most enjoyable thing ever. Because like you stay up till like 4 a.m. partying on your bus and then you come out and you have to help set up. And I just remember mornings where I would take one of the camping chairs from Reverse Daycare and sit outside the doors and wait for Monkey Bird to bring the coffee trolley. Monkey Bird. And she would bring the coffee trolley around and I would just wait there for my iced coffee and I would sit there with my sunglasses on and my iced coffee in hand and just like stare at you guys while you guys were working your asses off. Yeah. And occasionally catcall because I felt like that helped in the morning.
Well,
I feel like that gave you guys a little fuel.
It was just fun, you know. It's like we catcall right back, you know. Like we were.
Just,
Like it really was like a crazy job of like all these people like setting up like this whole community, like real quick, and I mean, just like having fun. Like that was like you have to want to want to be at Warped Tour for Warped Tour to be fun. Because if you don't want to be there, it's the fucking worst. Oh my god! If you didn't like it there, so like we were there. I mean, you know, I was having time of my life every day. I was living the dream. You know, it was like this thing. Like I always used to when I would sell schedules. Like whenever I would see like kids with their parents, and like I'd sell their parents a schedule or whatever, I'd be like, "Yo." I was like, thanks for bringing your kids to Warped Tour. I go, my mom wouldn't let me go to Warped Tour, and then I ran away with that.
And now she never sees me.
Yeah. Good move.
Hey.
Good move.
Way to keep your kids close to you.
Tip the rest.
Go see Rachel in the tent.
Yeah. Rachel will hook you up. I hear she's got Clue. Ask her about Clue if she loves her.
Tell her again for the third time. Baby. It's called a reference. Circling back. Oh my god. Okay. So we were talking about 2021 releases. Let's see what else is coming out.
Oh, sick.
Did you get to go
Black
see In the
Widow is
Heights?
gonna be so sick. No, I haven't seen In the Heights yet. Oh, what am I doing?
Dude, you got to go see it. It's so good. It's seeing it in the
Yeah.
theater just like makes me really happy because all I want to do is go see live theater, and it's like the closest I'm going to come to doing that for at least like a year probably. F9 definitely.
F9's gonna be sick. I put out a funny video today about Vin Diesel, which I think is gonna spark a whole bunch of videos about Vin Diesel. I think I'm about to go down a little bit of Vin Diesel kick. So stay tuned for that.
You should do just a whole slew of Vin Diesel in like classic movies, like Vin Diesel and like Citizen Kane or Philadelphia Story.
Yeah. You have to go to my Instagram or my TikTok. It looks better on TikTok. Instagram's fucking with you now.
Really?
But if you're on TikTok, yeah, like everything is so weird, man. Like everybody sizes everything differently, and like they don't want you to like edit it on one, but then like so it doesn't look good on the other. And like if you're gonna do like this kind of post as opposed to this kind of post, the sizing's gonna be different. So like it's funny, it's so fucking hilarious on Instagram, but it looks better the way it's sized on TikTok. Because also you can do it that size for a minute on TikTok as opposed to Instagram. You have to do it on Reels, and you can only do 30 seconds.
Ugh,
and
monsters.
30 seconds can be funny, but then it's like, what do you do a part 1 and a part 2? But no one's gonna see the part 2, or like they'd have to go. And so it's this whole thing. If anybody has any advice, tell me.
Throw it into the comments.
Yeah.
Brian, I have seen Luca and I fucking love it. It's so sweet. Terry, have you seen Luca?
No, which one's Luca?
Luca's the Disney one about the sea creature. It's like an allegory for gay children coming out, and it's very, very sweet. It's also stunningly beautifully animated. It is so gorgeous. It also just makes me want to eat pasta because it's set in Italy, and I just love it.
That sounds incredible. I can't watch food shows because I get too hungry. But like, I'm so glad that like the shows that I've seen, like Coco and like all these things, like Soul, like I feel like kids are so lucky to have like cool things like this, and it's so sick. But so what I have been doing though a lot lately is reading X-Men comics, and talk about good advice, fucking X-Men comics. But like, do you read comics at all?
Of course I do.
Dude, are you up to date with X-Men at all or whatever?
I'm not. I know there's like 1,000 storylines going all at the same time. So like I actually have not read any of like the core comic books because like there's so many different it's like a tree branch that like it tells the story, and then all of a sudden there's like 19 different storylines going on all at the same time that cross over, and I'm like
it's mad.
I don't know.
Right. So like this is like I didn't really know. I have like that Marvel Unlimited app. It's fucking incredible. It's only $9. You can get everything. And I was just like cruising through reading different X-Men, and then we're just like, how do I wonder what's like new, like how does it start? And like just stumbled upon this thing that's like the Dawn of X, which is like this whole new like where everything kind of stops and like starts over at like this new beginning, and it's fucking nuts. But like Jean Grey and Wolverine and Cyclops are polyamorous for sure. Like everybody's gay, dude. It's so fun, and it's so.
Well, I mean,
it's just like the if you were like reading this, like I mean, you wanna, I don't know, like it's cool to know that like people like have these kind of things.
Yeah, well, I mean, X-Men started off with being like a gay allegory about like accepting people for who they are and like not trying to change them or shame them. Like it's like the X-Men is basically Warped Tour. No matter who you are, no matter how weird you are, you're just welcome here. And just don't be
protecting the world that hates them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think X-Men is like the most punk rock at its core storyline.
X-Men are sick, but the new storyline is fucking hype, dude. You want to know about it?
Yeah.
You want me to tell you?
Tell me all about it, Terry.
Moira McTaggart, remember her?
Mm-hmm.
Professor X's girlfriend.
Yep.
Turns out she's a mutant, and what she does is she lives full lives, and then is reincarnated at like the start of her life again, but with all of her memories from her previous life.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So she's run all the scenarios of like stopping the Sentinels, like stopping like this thing from happening, you know, and like always protecting, like the X-Men trying to protect the humans. The humans always turn on them, and the humans always win. Like they've looked at all the angles. So this new X-Men is like X-Men take over, like the island of Kuroka is now like just mutants live there. And they're like, we're a sovereign nation, and like we make medicine, and like we do all this stuff, and like, and you can have it, but like you need to recognize us as our own country, like, and it's us and you. Like we're not protecting you anymore. We are the advanced species, you know. But like, it's hard to start a country, you know. Like,
if you take anything away from tonight, folks, it's that line. It's hard to start a country.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. And their adventures now. It's so good, dude. It's so sick.
Oh, that's amazing. No, I read more. I love like Rat Queens and Kim and Kim. I mean, obviously, Saga is amazing.
Yeah, I just heard about Saga.
Dude. And like, I love walking into something that already has like a ton of shit that I can read, because I will blow through everything that I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people that like, I don't like to start a TV show unless it's over. Like, I want to binge and know that there's an ending, and I want to know if I'm going to be disappointed or happy with it. I'm still going to watch it, but I don't care. But it makes starting something very like starting new TV shows or book series or movie sagas. Like, it's really hard for me to start that without knowing what the ending is, which is like, you know, Fast and Furious sucked me in at the very beginning. That movie made me fucking cry.
9, the new one?
No. The first one, The Fast and the Furious. The first one made me cry. Because why the fuck would you crash that beautiful Charger? It's so pretty.
Fucking Paul, dude.
God, she's so beautiful. Yes, Brian, I have no patience. Patience is a virtue, and I am virtueless. Like, I have
no patience, and I hate wait.
Yeah, no patience. Don't care.
Dude, that's so funny.
But yeah. What's your favorite movie to go to if you want to laugh?
Shit, man. Favorite movie?
Or one of them.
Lately, I watched Legally Blonde last night, maybe, or the night before. Hilarious. Damn, that movie's gold, man. And Bring It On. Oh man, I watched Bring It On a couple weeks ago.
First of all, Bring It On is a gem all on its own, but the soundtrack is so good.
Incredible.
Like, it's got like Sum 41 and like Simple Plan, and like it's just pop punk like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, pop punk made so many soundtracks back in the day. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was a big I don't know, like there was some fun like licensing deal like back in the day with like pop punk bands and pop culture.
Yeah.
Or something, you know. I don't know.
They were like, these songs are cheap and catchy.
Yeah. And now like SR-71 is a band, you know. Like,
yes. God, I went and saw SR-71 when I was living in LA, and it was literally one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. Like at one point, they literally got the crowd, like the entire audience, to sit on the floor and like carve out, like they had them scoot back for like a 3-foot diameter circle in the middle of the crowd, and like the singer and the guitarist came down with an acoustic guitar, and they like sang like 2 songs while we were there. Just like sitting Indian style, like cross-legged on the floor of this dirty, disgusting venue. And it was amazing. We had so much fun at that show. It was so good.
That's so fun.
I hadn't thought of that show in ages.
I know. So like I love all those. Those are always classics, you know. I'm more of like the TV show at night, you know, like that like cycle of TV shows that you like put on to go to bed. It's just been like recently I've been like trying to put on movies and stuff.
What's your go to bed TV show?
Right now I'm watching Happy Endings for the fucking millionth time, dude.
It's so good.
And also it's so fun because it just got on Netflix, so like people are discovering it. Like, have you ever heard of Happy Endings? Dude, I've been watching Happy Endings for so long, and it's just so funny.
Did you watch? Have you seen Happy?
No.
It was an FX show about this like cop who, like this alcoholic cop who gets kicked off the force, and he discovers that this girl got kidnapped, and her invisible friend, that is a unicorn voiced by Patton Oswalt, becomes like, he starts seeing him, and it's really fucked up and hilarious. Oh my god, it's so dark. I think you'd love it. It's so fun.
That sounds fun.
It's a blast.
Is it over?
I think so. I think there's like 2 or 3 seasons.
That's nice.
But it's really fun. It deals with like, it kind of has Death to Smoochy flavor, because it's about like this like children's show host, and like weird things start happening around the show. It's really fucking funny. Like he's like the main character like is doing drugs and drinking and like fucking hookers, and he's got like this, you know, this CGI unicorn voiced by Patton Oswalt being like, I don't think you should do that. It's fucking
I love that Patton Oswalt gets so much work. It's incredible.
He's so great.
You know?
He makes me.
He's MODOK now too.
That's
I watched a couple of those episodes. It's so funny.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. So soon we get He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Kevin Smith is like in charge of it, and Mark Hamill's got a voice in it.
What?
Yeah, Kevin Smith like wrote the scripts and like storylines. He's like the showrunner and shit. Like,
dang, dude.
Yeah.
Kevin, the coolest. Huge Kevin Smith. Like Mallrats was a big deal for me.
I mean, I'm literally wearing Movies pants. I don't know if you guys know this, but Kevin released Movies pants on Walmart.com. It's the only way you can get them. And of course I had to get them because I'm a massive Kevin Smith fan. They're a little warm.
Are they warm?
They're warm. It's a little warm. But the fabric is
Cruel
super
Summer. Have you watched Cruel Summer with Harley Quinn in it?
I haven't yet. Is it done? Because like I know they were like releasing like an episode a week, and I can't put up with that shit. Like
actually, I haven't seen the end of it. I think it might be done, but I haven't seen the end of it. But it's fun. She's great.
She's amazing. I absolutely adore her. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's great in everything. You saw Reboot, right? Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Oh yeah. It was incredible.
So good.
It was so good.
She's so good in it that literally about 2/3 of the way through the movie, I was like, are we sure she's not Jay's daughter? Like,
yeah.
Like she looks so much like Jay, but then she like jokes around with Kevin. And I'm like, no, she's definitely her father's daughter. Like, She's definitely Kevin's kid.
Dude, oh my gosh, I know. I watched it. I like watched that show like by myself during the quarantine. Like Darby didn't want to watch it with me for some reason, so maybe I like watched it during the day, and like she came in after. She's like, "How was it?" I'm like, "It was incredible.
It
It
was
was
so good.
fucking great. It was everything I wanted it to be."
Yeah, I got to go to. They did a pre-tour screening in Burbank, and I got to go to the first one, and like so many of the cast showed up, and I was sitting
Yeah.
like like it was like me and then someone else and then Steve Coogan.
Sick.
And I was like, I sat down and like there were 3 seats next to me, and somebody like taps me on the shoulder and they're like, "Are these taken?" I'm like, "No." And I look up and it's Steve Coogan. And I was like, "Oh my god, like
So
you're my childhood. Like, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Adventures in Babysitting. Like, oh my god, I love you so much." And it got to the point where like,
Hamlet too.
yeah, I'm trying not to like talk to him and like verbally vomit my love all over him. And then I saw like, you know how like AMC has those like hallways that like lead into the theater. I saw Kevin Smith standing in the entrance, and I like audibly gasped and went and he turns to me, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I just like started crying because Kevin means so much to me and I'm an emotional creature. And I was like, "I'll be fine." And then like throughout the movie, I just like wept. Like I wept through the entire scene where like as soon as like when they're running through Chronicon and they finally go into the room with Ben Affleck and you hear his voice say, "Well, look at these 2 morose motherfuckers right here." I like burst into tears and was just sitting there like silently sobbing, wiping the tears from my face. And then you hear Joey Lauren Adams' voice and I like just waterworks all over again. I'm like, this is exact, like this is a love story for me.
So
Like, this is
good.
a love letter for me. And I just want to let Kevin Smith know I love him and it's wonderful. And yes, I accept his gift. It's so great. I love that movie so much.
I just remember this. It's the only time that I had tickets to something and didn't go. But I think I had gotten back in town like that day or something, and I had tickets for it, and I just like fell asleep, and I set an alarm, and I woke up for it. It was like the 10:30 show, 11:30 show, or whatever, and then I was like, no, I'm not making it.
For you're talking about for the tour?
For the tour, yeah, when they toured. Yeah.
I had tickets for the LA date, and it happened to coincide with the last day of the Latin History for Morons tour that I was on with John Leguizamo. And I was like, if it was any other day, if it was literally like the day before, I would have flown out and back for it. But I'm like, it's the last date. I can't leave. I was so heartbroken. And I literally like offered them up for like pennies on the dollar and no one took them. And I finally was just like, look, if anyone can go, take my tickets and go. Like, I'm so sad. And no one took me up on them.
Idiots.
I know, right? I was like, dude, they're and they were great fucking seats. Oh my god, I'm still so angry about that.
Yeah.
But yes, Brian, Mark Hamill is voicing Skeletor in the He-Man thing. And are you excited that Tella will be the main focus? Yes, I'm hella excited that Tella is going to be the main focus of Masters of the Universe. Oh my god. Tella is badass. She's so fucking cool. All right, I'm starting to fade a little bit. I know it's late for you. So if anybody has any questions, send them through Streamlabs real quick. We'll do like 5 more minutes, and then I will ask my famous last question. So what have you been doing to keep yourself busy through quarantine other than, your amazing comedy videos?
Chickens. Chickens were my project.
Please expand because that's really creepy. Just leave me at chickens.
I've always wanted to get chickens. So like I built a coop and everything and got 4 chickens. And then 4 chickens quickly turned into way more chickens. And so far, I've built 3 different coops. We're on like a huge coop now. At one point, I had 18. I had 18 chickens, and then okay, so like I had 4 chickens, and then I had 6 chickens. But then like one of the chickens was sitting on eggs, and ended up having 6. We had 6 babies with that chicken, and then we had another chicken go broody. So what they call it when they want to sit on the eggs, and we had another 5 chickens with that chicken. So we had 18 chickens, and then I sold 4 chickens, and 1 chicken died. And right now I had 7 babies hatch like last week. Oh my god. They are insanely cute. They are also on my Instagram, dude. Go check them out. They are fucking adorable. So if you don't know, so
Farmer
chickens go,
Terry.
yeah, chickens go broody, which like basically like their stomach just gets so hot that like it becomes an incubator, and they'll sit on whatever eggs are available, right? And
Okay.
so like, and eggs are, if you have a rooster, the rooster basically like goes around and like does its thing to all the hens. And so if you have a rooster, all those eggs are fertilized. But
Right.
if you don't, they're not. It doesn't matter if you're eating them. It doesn't matter. It's whatever. But we don't have a rooster. So whenever one of our chickens go broody, you have to find somebody with fertilized eggs, or you have to like break them of it, you know? And which like isn't fun. Like you have to like cool off their belly, like oof. And so like you go get fertilized eggs and you stick it underneath them, and then 21 days later, chickens hatch out of those eggs. And it's so fun because like, so this last lady that we got chickens from, we have chickens that lay white eggs, we have chickens that lay brown eggs, and chickens that lay blue eggs. And our latest babies, we wanted chickens that laid green eggs. So I found this woman whose rooster is a purebred Easter egger, which means its hens will lay green eggs, but then she has like 30 other hens. So we didn't know what kind of chickens they were going to be, you know, or what they were going to look like. So we just had these 7 chickens hatch, and it's so cool.
So basically, you're a chicken pimp, is what it sounds like. Okay, yeah.
That's right. That's a good one. I mean, that was a long way to explain that. You're right.
I fucking love it. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if anybody had ever asked me what I thought you'd be doing in 2020 and 2021, I would never have come up with that. I never would have been like, yeah, Terry's totally going to raise chickens.
They're incredible. Get yourself some chickens. They're easy to take care of. They're so sweet. They make something for you every day. They like, you know, or like most days, like they produce this thing that like nourishes your body. Like these chickens are fucking dope, dude. Treat your chickens good. Get some chickens and then treat them good.
I mean, you shouldn't be treating any animals.
Chickens are a good start.
Chickens.
Except those. I thought maybe you would say something. Except those dang.
I don't know. You're just looking for me to say. My brother actually has chickens. He lives in the Santa Cruz Mountains and like has this mini ranch. Like he's got like horses and goats and chickens. It's very weird going to see him just because like yeah, it's actually his birthday today. So happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Woohoo! Yeah, he's given me a niece and a nephew, so I love him anyway, but now I love him even more because he makes beautiful babies that I get to steal from time to time and blow raspberries into their fat bellies, which is what happiness is to me, apparently.
That's the best.
I know. I just love the fact that my friends breed and I don't.
Raspberry other people's babies.
Yeah, dude. You get to feel the fat flap against your cheeks. There's like no better feeling than that. It's so sweet.
So soft.
And then they giggle. Oh.
One of our friends is French. But before, like in French, like have you ever seen a French baby? Oh, they're like, la la la, papi, it's like, yeah. They just beat more, you know.
Nice.
It's the best. So,
Oh.
but I have a French baby in my life right now. It's pretty exciting.
As I hope we all do at some point in our lives.
Yeah, get yourself a French
Get yourselves friends who have French babies.
French baby friend. You don't need to be friends with their parents. Just find a French baby and just listen to it talk for a little bit. Beep, 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 beep. It's adorable. You'll love it.
All right, we are slowly coming to the end, guys. I'm gonna check Streamlabs real quick. I don't think anybody's here, but I don't care because I had so much fun with you. This is like one of my favorite episodes, just getting to bullshit and hang around with you. Anybody's here. But I am gonna close out by asking my favorite last question. It is from the movie that I literally would watch the night before every tour, which is Almost Famous. So,
oh my god,
I know. The first two, I feel like I have to specify this. The first two questions are not the questions. The last one. You have to be happy to write a love song. You have to be sad to write a sad song. What is it that you love about music?
when it hits, you feel no pain. One good thing about music, dang dude. I mean, music just like it's like that. Like dancing is like freedom, right? You know, it's like feeling truly free when you're dancing, and which like really moves me. You know, like I really like that. So I really like real fucking passionate music. You know, I think that's what drew me to punk rock music for so long, and just that, like it makes you move. You know, like I love like babies that can like stand but like can't talk, and like they hear music and they dance, you know, like we didn't teach them to dance, like we didn't tell them or anything, like they felt music and they fucking dance, right? That's what I love about music.
I fucking love that. That is, every time I ask somebody a question like this question, there's like 4 or 5 different answers that I get, like variations of answers, but that is like my favorite version of that answer. Of just like it makes you feel things that you have to express physically.
Yeah, and
it's
then
true.
I mean, there's that Bob Marley song. The one good thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain. So hit me with music, you know. And I don't know.
It's true.
That song was very influential for me.
Well, I love you dearly. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with me. We have to do this far more often. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm so glad you could come on and have fun. Go ahead and tell the kids what you got coming up and where to find you and all that fun shit.
I'll be at the Mint in LA, July 15th. Get your tickets now, guys. Or follow me online. That's all the fun stuff, dude. Instagram, TikTok is fucking silly shit. Facebook's all right. I don't know. But I'm there. And I don't know.
Yeah. All the links are down below.
We're creating shit.
All right. And then on my end, next week, I have the very first live and in person Movies, Music, and Mayhem with the amazingly, stunningly beautiful and sickeningly funny Claudia Dolph. I'm so excited. We're gonna hang out in front of her friend's trailer at her friend's place in the valley, and we're just gonna drink and have fun, and it's gonna be so amazing. I'm so excited. So make sure and tune in at 6 p.m. next week for Claudia Dolph. Other than that, like, subscribe, share, all that fun shit. And just remember, this is where we were.
Dang.
A while ago.
Dude, look at
This is-
that.
This is what Warped Tour does to you guys. This is what Warped Tour does to you. And on that note, thank you so much, Terry. You guys are the best. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, and I will see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Get vaccinated so we can all get back to having fun in live shows. And I love